everybody, and welcome to our Overly Bright Twitch channel. Now you're here with your toes in our somewhat horrible trench water. I guess we better introduce ourselves. With Bloodthirsty Puppets, tonight is Friday Night Spiced. We are playing in... Guys. You come back, we bring back this tradition of fucking up the intro. I'm kind of partially proud of us and partially annoyed at us, but it's okay. We are playing a World War II... It's okay. We're playing a World War II game using our spice system with a little bit of a twist. Couple of rules for chat before we get too much further. Don't be at all about someone's race, don't be at all about someone's gender, most importantly, don't be at all. And a fourth rule, don't be at all about the fact I have a cold today. Yes, I do sound like hell, but get over it. I am a snotling infested by Nurgle plague, so that's why I'm banned over this side and they're in the house.
Yep. Also put wood on the fire.
Yeah, there's plenty of wood on there, don't you worry. We are continuing on this little 3-shot game, which involves our main characters of the Professor, the Doctor, and the Colonel, and rendering a companion. Have finally rendered our companions into the world, but unfortunately we didn't have enough memory, so we couldn't bring Captain Bernard Smith with us, unfortunately. He's out prepping for something else. Alright, so I'm going to go around, have everyone introduce their characters, and then I will quickly run through the slight changes and a few of basically where we are for the 2 people who have been missing for the last 2 weeks. So let's start off with the person directly below me, which is Tech.
Hello, I am the Colonel.
Do you remember your name?
My name is classified on a need-to-know basis.
Oh my god.
It's George.
It's George.
Your name's George.
It's George.
Oh, clearly, no.
Alright, okay. So you're...
And I am in charge of this motley crew. One sec, I need to enter my name.
This is terrible.
But yes, I am this lot. We've just smashed our way through no man's land, encountering strange creatures, zombies, banshee, weirdness, strangely no German soldiers.
Incorrect.
We encountered 2 soldiers in the woods.
Yes, you did.
Which, after an incredibly successful spotting of said soldiers, we then completely utterly failed to hide from said soldiers, and all just like piled onto a bush, which made an awful lot of noise and gave us away. But yeah, that kind of was a bit painful, that encounter. But we've now managed to secure the entrance to this compound by disposing of the other guards and taking their place, me and the captain. And we've sent our 2 specialists in to reconnoiter.
What I'm really happy about is I asked for your character and you gave us a brief description of what happened last time. This is amazing.
Yep.
Do you want to
go further than normal?
Do you want to tell everyone what your weaknesses are?
My weaknesses are my compassion about my squad. I'm a bit freaked out because I encountered my wife and had to shoot her. And I'm also kind of homesick because, it'd be nice to go home and make sure my wife isn't actually wandering through a German trench. And I didn't actually shoot her. Could you put your mic a little bit closer to your mouth, please? And take your gain down a little bit. And it should be fine. Just a smidge. Alright, cool. So those are the weakness tags we have in on him. So let's move around to Spanners. Who are you? Who are you playing? And what are your weaknesses?
Okay, I am Spanners. I am playing Dr. Abigail, our scientific specialist. And my weakness is that I do not believe anything unless I can see it or have proof, which has so far meant that I have denied the existence of Christmas. I have upset pretty much every single 1940s soldier that we've met. And yeah, that's gone really well for me so far, which is why I have less than half of my hit points.
So far, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, we're gonna die.
I didn't say anything like that at all. Alright, let's move around to Thirsty. Same questions.
I'm Thirsty, and today I shall be playing the wonderful Professor Ruben Matthias. He is a sort of a cult advisor to the Colonel, and he is currently nervous, jumpy, slow, cold, wet, and he's a fat, sheltered, lazy, wussy hypochondriac. So essentially, he should never, ever, ever have been here. ever.
No.
And for some reason, completely unknown to him, but definitely on his list of grievances, he has been sent into the enemy compound in disguise with no armed backup.
You're fine.
Plenty of armed backup. We're standing at the gates.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, and he's nearly dead.
Oh yeah, and he's also nearly
Everyone's
dead.
He apparently managed to shred himself on barbed wire, almost to the point of death.
He did, it was hilarious. And razor wire. Okay, so we move around to Killer and Dev, who weren't here for the last 2 weeks, and they are taking possession of Renders and Companion. So do you guys want to tell us who you've taken on and what weaknesses you decided to assign to them?
You go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Hi, I'm Dev. I'm playing Render, and my weakness is his absolute overconfidence with everything.
This is going to be fun.
Indeed.
Cool, I like it. And?
Wow. There needs to be more.
No.
Oh.
No.
Needs to be another person.
Alright.
And finally...
Hi, I'm Killer Kitten, and I will be playing Companion, who is a sniper, but who has very, very bad eyesight.
Excellent. I'm sure that you guys will find a way of doing this. Okay, so just a little heads up for the people who've not been before and not understanding what the hell is going on in this particular game. We are in a World War II scenario. These group of specialists and soldiers have been assigned to cross into enemy territory to go check out a potential super weapon for the Axis guys and determine as to whether it's coming home or not, and then of course get home. The soldier's job is to follow their commander, the colonel, and to ensure the safety of the two specialists above all else. The two specialists have their own independent orders, and they will be dealing with those as possible. Okay, so the thing that you two need to know really is that legendary points aren't gifted to you at the beginning of the game. They do not reset between sessions, which doesn't apply, but still something worth knowing. The only way in which to gain legendary points in this, even if people try and buy them in chat, it's not going to happen. I'm warning you, putting you guys head up on that. You have to invoke the weakness of another player. For example, if they're out going to do something, let's use my favourite one. They're out there, they're talking about the little baby Jesus, and someone invoked the weakness of, if you don't believe it, it's not true. Therefore, the entire conversation about, you know, Christmas not existing was one that was had, and legendary points were awarded. The way we determine as to whether you get the legendary points from this is just a straight D12 roll between the two of you. So whoever comes out with the highest is the one that will get the legendary points and will affect whether or not the other person has to apply their weakness or not. So there we go. Pretty much becomes self-evident as we go along. We opened it up last week to everyone invoking everyone else's weaknesses. I don't think that worked as well as when we did it in the first week, but I'm going to leave it open to you three because you were here.
We have 5 people as well now, so it doesn't work so well.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to be each other's, so...
We could circulate.
It is entirely up to you three. I'm going to leave this down to you three to decide whether you want to have it open for everyone or whether you want to pick on people like we did the first session.
What was the colonel's weakness?
Compassion for his men.
Compassion about my men. I'm homesick and frightened.
Okay.
Leave it open.
Yeah, leave it open.
Okay. Leave it open then. Just keep an eye on what other people's weaknesses are and if you think you can utilize them. Yes, you can either do it in character or you can do it meta. I don't really care. In the first session we had both going on. It was beautiful. So, okay. What we see when we open up on this hellscape of what we had before is that you guys, most of you, I say most of you, that's incorrect. Renders and Companion, you are in the tree line. Before you see a compound, you see chain link fence with razor wire on top. Fence pretty friggin' high. You can see that the entrance has that typical like sandbag with a kind of gate across. You can actually see your colonel and you can see Captain Bernard Smith taking those places of the people who should be there. Within the compound, you can see that there are people walking around in kind of cultist type robes, and you can see people walking around with dogs and actual genuine Axis soldiers. Within this compound, you can see a building. This building is pretty big, but it looks odd. It doesn't look right. Mainly because it looks like it's made out of bronze, but the walls look like they've been melted and molten as if someone has just poured it over the top of this building and it's just flowing down. It kind of still looks a bit like it's flowing, but nothing is moving. Within the texture of this, you can see what looks like faces and gargoyles like leering out. In fact, they are so much a part of this building that balconies, you know, are within the jawlines of certain creatures. Windows are eyes. And the main entrance, where you can see your two specialists who are wearing robes, one of which is extremely blood covered, but the other is not. Not too much a difference because they're dark coloured. You can see them walking towards the entrance, and this entrance is a giant screaming face, and they're walking towards the open mouth, which is a bit more like a lamprey mouth with all kind of like the rows and round circular teeth that are kind of like doing that, and this is pulsating ever so slightly. At the very top of this, top of the building, you can see what looks like a hand reaching upwards, but it's wrong. It's more like a void. It's as if it's pulling all the light around it into it. And it just seems to be reaching for the heavens. It's also dark. It's nighttime. You're probably looking on the other side of midnight. And I think that's probably... Oh, no. That's not absolutely everything. The very last thing that our... And this is just for our specialists, and the only people who heard this. The last thing you heard was a very strong male voice. Seemed to be shouting out the end of what may be a ritual or the start of a ritual. You're not entirely sure. Maybe he's just praying. But you heard him shout the phrases, "When we break your sickle, you will be freed, and we'll use the shards to bring the slain into your service. Ymel, this I swear." And that is where we open up.
And we've all gone quiet. Excellent. Okay.
I'm on guard.
I'm not going to put Light Cheerful on. I'm going to put something else on.
Okay. Just for atmosphere, we'll go with this. This I swear. Nope. 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 Abby, look over there, Abby. Oh, there's something very interesting over there. We should definitely go over there.
I think yes. I think that's an excellent plan. Let's just head to the back of the room, maybe
You
away
two,
from.
At this moment, we're walking towards the mouth, but because you two didn't do so well in your perception, you could only hear this voice coming up from inside. You couldn't tell where it was coming from, but you two are definitely in the compound, but not in the building.
Yes. Definitely, we should go and look at one of the other buildings. They look very interesting over there. Oh.
Yes, I vote that we go and find maybe somewhere to see if we can find like a medic or something, or obviously not a medic, but you know, their kit.
Oh yeah, definitely seems a little a good idea.
Probably need to be a bit more prepared before we just go rushing in. But I think probably what we need to find is likely to be in there.
Yes. Anything to go further the mission. Yes. Yes.
So where are you two going?
To the porter cabin that's got a helpful little like Red Cross flag on it.
Hopefully.
You're heading. I don't remember mentioning that there was a porter cabin in a 19.
Left, Red Cross right.
Yes, there isn't a handy little medic station, I'm afraid.
Could we hunt around to see if there are any like first aid kits or anything?
You are currently outside. You can have a look around. Take a perception check. I'm going to be honest, it's not highly likely.
It's worth a look.
Let me check to notice anything else.
Well, that's going to help.
Oof.
4. I'm going to find a stick.
Bingo! I got a 4 as well.
Funnily enough, no, you don't find a handy little first aid kit in the middle of this kind of Axis compound surrounded by cultists as they're wandering around this rather suspicious-looking building.
Health and safety.
They're messing with the force. Well, you don't know what they're messing with. You're not the specialist. They're messing with something for sure.
At least they all seem to be wearing their hats.
Some of them are wearing their hats for sure.
Pointy ritual cultist hats.
Yeah, you can't find any sort of medic kit. Wandering around, you don't really notice anything of real significance. You don't seem to notice anyone that would look like some sort of medic. They all seem to be adamantly on their patrol as you guys are wandering around in your cultist robes.
Okay, and around the around this area, so in the yard sort of area, is it like overgrown, or is it just like concrete?
It's just like concrete. There's a thin layer of like dirt on the ground, but it's, you know, it's clearly on some sort of solid base.
Okay, so nothing's growing.
Nope. Are you two, I'm assuming, sneaking around this compound?
Right, social stealth. Walking like we belong here.
Okay,
Yeah,
take a sneak check. Yeah, Thirsty, you're going to need to up your mic a lot more. I don't know if you've been seeing my Zoom messages.
Yeah, I've upgraded it like 3 or 4 times.
Move your mic.
It's now higher than it was when I started.
There you go. It's just that your I think your mic wasn't necessarily pointed at where you're speaking. You weren't crossing where the capture area is.
Fair enough.
I have a 9.
Ooh. As I remind you guys, the challenges are much higher in this game.
Ooh. Right. Started with a base 9. So 13. Yeah.
Are you two just wandering the yard, circling the building, or how are you going about doing this? It will reflect on how well your stealth is about to come out.
So we are walking in tandem, I think. Hands in the robes, head down, no faces, sort of showing, just kind of trying not to make eye contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume we're probably trying to stay like out of any bright lights because we're probably leaving like a small trail of blood because our legs are shredded and we're in bloody road.
Yeah, but it has been a while since that cut has happened, so your body would have naturally sealed some of those wounds up. You seem to go around almost completely unnoticed as you do a complete lap of this area. You notice there's only one other entrance, and that is again through a much smaller kind of lamprey mouth. It will be that kind of thing where you'd have to duck, otherwise the top of your hats are going to hit the ceiling, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be less guarded than the front, where there seems to be more people roaming around patrols, and the dogs definitely more centered out the front than they are at the back. As you come back round, you can see where the colonel and the captain are.
Okay, I vote that door.
I assume you vote with your feet.
Yes.
And I follow.
Yes.
You two are gonna go into it alone. Cool. All right.
Yeah, the small door. Alone.
Okay. I apologise for the rest of you standing outside. There's not a lot you can do right now, but this has been geared for them to do this.
We're supposed to be protecting our specialists and they're walking alone.
Yep. Well, that was what happened. That was the stunning decision from the end of last week's game. Okay, so you guys... Oh my god. Points for effort. Points for effort, guys. You guys walk back around to the building. Colonel, you've seen them do at least one rotation. And they've gone back around to the back. Yeah. You guys make your way into this smaller lamprey mouth, and as you go past, you can feel like the teeth kind of like rubbing against the top of your hood. There just seems to be no way for you to avoid it, and it's fairly dark in here. But ahead of you, you can see that there are what looks like kind of like emergency lights rigged up on the top of the walls, and they're kind of doing that kind of like dull reddish color. And you walk in a bit further, and you can see that it branches off to the left and branches off to the right. Off to the left, do either of you speak German? Off to the left, there is a sign. Off to the right, there is another sign, but neither of you speak German, so you don't know what either of them say.
I would point out at this point, though, we are both English and quite intelligent, so, like, there is a shared base of Saxon language.
Uh-huh.
Like,
do either of you speak German?
No, but you don't necessarily need to know German to, like, maybe recognise the word for, like, kitchen.
Do you know Krankenhauses?
Nope.
Oh, yes, I must know what Krankenhaus, because I asked for a Krankenwagen.
Ah.
Excellent. You can try. You can make an intelligence check. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to... It's a difficult check anyway in our normal system, because neither of you speak German. This is going to be even harder in this system, as I've informed you guys before.
Let's do it.
It was like some of our plebeian characters should have spoken German on this mission.
It's like Captain did. And if he was here, he could have helped you, but he didn't.
14.
A 14?
No. I'm just like filthy crap language.
On a 14, you think maybe the left-hand one might need some sort of chamber? The right-hand one is a different kind of chamber. That's pretty much the gist of what you get, I'm afraid.
I'm going to take Roasty's advice and go left.
We always go left.
Good boy.
Good boy. Points to Roasty.
Roasty gets a legendary point.
Thank you for the follow. Okay, you guys go left. As you walk through this kind of like corridor, up ahead of you, you see this very large chamber. And as you step into the edge of this, you become aware that there are more lights in here. There are clearly more of these red emergency lights, but there are also torchlights, like proper like burning torchlights. And as you kind of look in, you can notice that the ceiling is much higher. It goes all the way to the top of where you assume the building is. And as you look up, you can see that there is a kind of a void, like a dark void. And kind of being that you two are quite intelligent, quite smart, and you put things together, you could recognise this. This would probably be the base of where the hand is that's reaching into the sky. And it seems to just be there in the ceiling. It doesn't like anything supporting it. There's no works at all. It's just there. You also spot in this room that there are 6 cultists. There are 6 cultists wearing robes similar to yours, but you also spot that there is another cultist standing on a bit of a dais, and he's wearing a dark green robe with kind of those kind of like almost sparkles, but kind of aren't really sparkles, and more like flashes of light coming from his outfit. And you can also see that the sigil of a sickle with a drop of blood with the letter Y clearly emblazoned on his chest. There is also, he's quite an old guy, and as he raises his arms up, as he's continuing this weird prayer to whoever the hell Yamel may be, you notice that his arms are covered in various cuts, but they seem to be very mechanical in nature. They seem to be very deliberate in nature, because they appear to be like cuts of the various runes, some of which you may recognise, some of which you may not. I can't determine unless you decide to have a more better look. But this is what you see. You also see that there is one other exit from here at the very opposite end of where you are. You haven't been spotted, because I'll let you roll your 13 between you. What do you guys want to do? Oh crap, there is one other piece of information. The pretty vital piece, actually.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty vital piece of information. You notice that this guy who is standing with the green, you can notice that 2 of the acolytes, 2 of the 6, are standing behind him, and between them they are holding what looks like a scythe. It's a very, very large scythe, almost comically large. Just like if he held this, he would struggle to do it on his own. And they seem to be holding it between them as if they're about to like place it upon the kind of what looks like an altar just behind where this head cultist is still doing his prayers or his ritual, etc., etc. What do y'all want to do now?
Where are the other 4? So we've got the green sparkly cultist.
Yep.
And 2 standing either side of him.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the other 4?
They are in front of him. They are in almost like a square in front of him. Yeah, that's probably what you can notice from where you are. There are things in this room which you clearly cannot see, because their bodies are kind of shifting and moving. Occasionally you catch glances of stuff, but you can't really see it from where you are. Not without some sort of move or a check.
There are runes to be seen. I'm going to stand and admire the runes as he stands with his arms aloft, showing his flowing rune scars.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. How very interesting.
Yes, go for it. Make a mystic, or whatever the equivalent. I can't remember what I called it because it's been so long ago since I made them for you.
Mystical knowledge.
Mystical knowledge. Roll a mystical knowledge for me.
That is a 16.
Okay. with a 16, you notice that the name Yamel has been clearly carved in a variety of different, very, very ancient runes down one arm. But you also notice on the other arm, there are clearly the runes and the signs of Yamel, the sickle with the teardrop of blood, or with the Y in it. But you also notice at a distance, you're not sure, but then it clicks. You know what this phrase means, as it's scrawled in various different meanings down his arms, and it makes sense of all the other, what are just names in his arms. You notice the name Nimra Rizan. And I'm not going to tell you what that means, because you should already know.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
At this point, you would notice after having... no, actually, no, you wouldn't notice anything else based off of that.
Okay. I assume that he knows what Nimra Rizan means,
yes,
as well as I do.
Yes. He knows what you know.
Fuck. At this point, I just slowly and quietly reach out for like the sleeve of Abby's robe. Like, I leave a pistol inside, like in the elbow of one robe, like with the hand still inside it. Just like, nope, nope, we're leaving.
Okay, so I'm probably going to notice that this is not great, and agree. I think we might need backup, and just kind of gently go backwards and hope no one notices a moonwalking.
Like bow out of the room.
Yeah, sure. I don't even want you guys to roll, because the idea of you two moonwalking out of this is just too funny. Are you making your way back to the Colonel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least back to the fence.
You guys sneak out, you go back through this little entrance, and you make your way around. You pass a couple of guards, cast a couple of like dogs, but they don't seem to be paying much attention to you, because of your oversized hood and the fact that you're role-playing that is just too funny. You make your way back around to the Colonel. Colonel, they've been gone probably about 5 or 10 minutes out of your sight, and they are making their way back towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for them to come and make their report. Because me and Captain are standing on guard, and if one of us leaves, that might be suspicious.
Okay, are we out?
Yeah. You two are clear. I'm letting you ride that moonwalking head down sort of thing. I'm letting you ride that this
Nice.
time round.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I'm going to go up to the Colonel, take the hood off. Okay, so we may need to change the plan a little bit. I'm going to give you my scientific evaluation of the whole situation.
I'm standing next to you, aren't I? Cool. I'm gonna reach over and put your hood back on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was a little bit too late as you
Oops.
pulled your hood off.
Oops.
You walked up to the main entrance.
But you're not wearing.
And quickly took your hood off. It's like in the middle of the compound.
But you're not wearing
You're wearing
robes,
a
are
hood.
you?
You are wearing a hood. You're wearing robes, and you pulled your hood off.
Ah.
As she turns up and begins to make the report, you see her take her hood off. And then you see, it takes almost like a ripple effect. You see people from like closest to her turn to look at her, and you see her with her obviously being a female in a very male heavy world. Okay, you guys see these guards turn around and look at you, and as they raise their gun, you hear them shout something in German. Does either Render or Companion have German as a language? Neither of you have German.
Nope.
French and Russian.
Yeah.
Useful.
I'll tell you what, you two.
We'll be there for you in the French place.
I'll tell you what, you two roll a d6 each. Because this is ridiculous.
You made the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 uh-huh.
Got a 4 and a 2.
Whoever got the 4 can speak German.
I can speak German.
Hey, Renders!
Another feather in Render's cap.
First roll was me because I was rolling.
Wow. Okay, Renders, you can hear them speaking in German, like Seize her. Get her. She's not supposed to be here. You say very urgent to that, and then you basically see one of them put a whistle to his mouth, and you basically see pretty much most of these guards begin to converge on the entrance. What do you guys want to do?
How many guards are there here now?
You what, sorry?
How many guards are there here now?
In your near vicinity,
I've been watching 5 minutes. I should have a good count.
Yeah. I'm gonna say in the vicinity. Let's say there's 4 and 2 dogs. 2 of them in cultist robes, 2 of them in Axis uniform, and 2 dogs. And they are making their way towards you. They have also. I'll tell you what. I'll say for the sake of this. You can see them lifting the whistle to their mouth. So I'm gonna give Companion a chance to shoot them because she is the sniper. He is the sniper.
Please roll.
So I was going to also seeing that she's been made, I was going to kind of point my gun at her and prepare to shoot at one of
6.
the other guys, one of the with a whistle to his mouth.
Oh, you're gonna aim the gun at the doctor.
Just to give me a second to kind of analyse the situation,
Okay. Yep.
and then once I've decided who the biggest threat is, I'll shoot them. But
I think it'll be
I'll wait until
one.
Companion's taking a shot first.
So you'll have a big gun with some sort of additional attack.
You probably haven't filled your stat sheet in yet.
No, every
No.
single
So
time.
bung 3 points into your big
Every
gun.
time we try, it zeroes everything out on the sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
what you're filling in then.
What's
All
your
right. We'll say
what's
say
your deck?
because you two haven't actually filled anything in, and we're running on the on the premise that you are basically rendering and companioning. Just say +3 to everything, and if you're doing attack roll, say +5. We'll just
Do
zero
+8.
out everything that
If
you
you've
do.
got
So
flawless
everything
rifle.
you guys do is
That's
always
fine.
+3 or +5 for an attack. Because y'all had 4 weeks to do this and you've done it, so this is what you're getting now.
Oh, yes, +8.
12.
Flawless.
A 12. Okay, on a 12, you've been waiting here for a while. You're pretty sure you're gonna hit it. You do hit this person square in the chest. Were you going for a soldier, or were you going for a dog, or were you going for a cultist?
Soldier.
Whistle guy.
A soldier. Okay. Roll me some damage then.
The A10? 8? 10?
D10.
It's written on the sheet, dude.
It is somewhere.
Yes, next to big
10.
guns. It'll
D10
tell you
plus
what it
8.
is.
A 10.
So 18.
How'd you get 18?
Because it's a
What-
flawless
And you
rifle.
said +8.
They're basically the same. Actually, they're 1 more than me, so it'll be +9.
So
What?
19.
What?
What? I don't understand.
It's just stats. So you'd be 6 with a rifle, then it's +2 for a flawless weapon modifier. Flawless +2's damage, isn't it?
Is that what you
Okay.
have on there? They don't have
Sure.
your stats, my love. They don't have flawless
but-
weapons.
Everyone had a flawless weapon.
No, they don't.
No,
They never had done.
Oh, well, all of us did at the beginning.
No, you
no, we didn't.
No,
Yeah, we had 1
No.
flawless and 1
you
clean.
did, because you're the colonel.
Oh, was it just me? Because
Yeah.
Jay had the same because he went for the flawless pistol.
Yep.
So
Okay.
whatever you get for cleaned, which I think is +1.
Just
Okay,
plus
minus
one.
1.
Okay.
So-
Ignore him, it's just +1.
In that case, it's +7.
17 then.
Sure, I'll check the stats later. Do you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Sure. Alright, you basically smash this guy square in the chest, and you guys see the guy who's about to lift the whistle to his mouth. You see the bullet enter through his forearm, thank you, into his chest, and you basically just see him hit the deck, and you see all this blood spraying off into the background. The other 3 look very uncomfortable, but the dogs don't seem to give a crap as they continue bounding forward. What do y'all want to do now?
I dive on the doctor.
I'm going to shoot the other dude.
Aww.
I'm seizing her.
Caesar, get her!
Yeah,
Aren't you like
I'm blending in,
15
motherfucker.
stone?
I'm blending the fuck in.
Alright, Colonel, what are you doing?
I'm going to shoot the other soldier next to him.
Okay.
Because the other soldier had a gun out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to take out him as well. And hopefully Captain's going to take a shot at the other guy as well.
Captain will be doing Dickle right now, because we have 2 players.
So I had 16 to hit.
Yes, that's definitely gonna hit.
Yep. So that will be... Ooh, that's going to be a bloody mess. 17 damage.
Yeah, that's an equally bloody mess. Where do you want to hit him? How do you want to take this one out?
I'm going to go for through the throat. So just aim for it. It just goes straight through the throat.
An
just blows
FNS BTP special through the throat. You as you can just see the back of his head just go as the back of its neck and bits of cartilage and like spine just go flying in all directions. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do a thing. Actually, you're gonna do a thing. Roll a charisma manipulate for me, please.
Six. No, sorry, 5.
The cultists are not terrified in any way, shape, or form of this. So they go running towards Abigail, who has been thrown to the floor. Okay, Renders, what are you doing, man?
I want to charge out with my Tommy gun. I've decided I have a Tommy gun.
Okay, sure.
And I
Go
want
for
to
it.
spray and pray.
All right. I'm gonna paint the little word picture here. You see the colonel and the captain. They are standing upright. You see that the 2 specialists have gone down to the ground, and you can see that beyond where they are, you can see that there are 2 cultists and 2 dogs running forward. Spraying and praying, I'm gonna let you know, is gonna be a little tough.
Well, I was sort of expecting that I could maybe run up to beside them and then start spraying and praying.
Yep, it's a bit of a run, but I'll let you do it.
Okay,
It is a bit of a run. You're gonna be a bit knackered.
Spray and pray over them. That sounds good.
It's, good luck. As I've warned everyone else, the checks in this one are a lot harder than the other.
Okay, well yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm literally just gonna hold down the trigger and start mowing.
Okay, that's gonna make your check a little harder, sure.
Why not? I'm confident that I've got this.
Oh, okay. Are you invoking a weakness in yourself?
Does that count?
No!
Dice up against yourself.
No! I'm loving the fact you guys
I
are playing
invoke
your
his
weaknesses.
overconfidence by forcing him to shout something elaborate in German.
Alright, in that case, both of you roll a d12.
Fuck yeah.
Well, my attack roll was keeping that as my attack roll.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I rolled a 10. It's plus 5, so 15.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
And I crit my other one.
Well, no legendary points were given out on this roll.
My fault.
No matter how cool it would have been.
A max
15?
roll on my first one.
Yeah. With a 15,
Wow.
you spray and pray and you hit, on a 15, you're going to hit 3 of them. So the choice is 2 dogs or 2 humans.
Fuck the dogs, I'll kill the humans.
Alright, so you hit 2 humans and a dog. You just hear them like, roll me some damage.
Ah, scheisse! Yarf!
That's
What
Steve's
damage
gun!
rate?
Ah!
What damage rate?
D10. Big gun.
Yeah, no, but am I rolling 1 for all of them or?
1
am I
for
rolling
all of
2?
them.
1 for all of them.
This will be spread out amongst the animals, people.
I got 10.
A 10. Okay, you see the 2 humans that like get sprayed a bit, like one gets like hit in the thigh, one of them gets hit like sort of in the general stomachish area, and as you see this dog jumping, you take it square in the side, and you hear that horrible dog noise like as it kind of like lands down covered in blood, and it kind of like looks around a little uncomfortable. And you see the other dog just racing past it, completely oblivious to this gunfire that's going on, and it will make an attack at the professor. Because I believe that's all of you all having your goes. Oh, apart from, I do apologise, the professor. You have been knocked to the ground though, so what would you like to do before the dogs eat your friend?
The doctor, you mean?
Yes, the doctor, my bad.
Ah, right, okay. Okay, so...
Could I interject by smuggling her a pistol while I'm bundling her
You've
to the
already
ground?
given me a pistol.
Did I? Okay.
You gave me a pistol when we snuck out and moonwalked out before I fucked everything up.
Oh, yes.
So, I am going to aim that pistol, I think, at the remaining dog.
Both dogs are alive, but one of them is definitely coming for you. Okay,
Okay, yeah, that
I'm
one.
gonna point out, 1, you are being pinned to the ground. 2, you've got to get your pistol out, which is a bit of an awkwardness because you are pinned to the ground. But the dog is fairly in your face, so it's going to be a rough check.
Okay. Ah, cool. 11.
You fire the gun, and it just scoots across the ground. The bullet just flies and completely misses everyone. You hear it tinging off against the kind of bronze exterior of this building. I'm sorry. I told you it was harsh. Okay, this dog is going to be jumping for the professor. The non-injured dog is jumping for the professor. Just to show I didn't fudge that. The dog jumps on you, and you feel it raking its claws into your back, and you will be taking. Oh my god, where's my dice gone?
A plunge into unconsciousness.
Maybe. And you take 4 points of damage. You can reduce it by your endurance, so.
That would be professor or doctor?
The professor.
Oh.
Okay.
Laying on you.
4 points of damage as it dives at you and scratches down your back. You take 4 points of damage. Yes, you can reduce it by your endurance.
Cool. Thank God, no one invoked anything on that. Okay. Yep. I'm just gonna be like, ah!
You see one of these cultists run back into the building, and I'm gonna say he's halfway there when you guys get to have your round next. And the other one begins to move their hands in an intricate manner, and you see this kind of dark purplish force begin to like kind of solidify in its hands, and you see it kind of focus very intently, and you see it throw it forward towards where the professor and the doctor are. Let's see if it hits first, and I'll tell you what awfulness this does.
I dive in the way. Proper like heroic.
Yes, but it will take your go. So when we come back around to do things, it will be your go. That will be your go if you want to do this.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Alright, well, you dive in front of this like purple kind of orb that seems to be solidifying and throwing it out towards where the your two specialists are, and you guys basically see Renders being a badass diving across the scene as you see this thing go completely white. It got absolutely dick all on the dice, so... But the idea of you diving there has basically put off this throw of this dark energy that was being thrown there. And you see as it goes through and hits the as it hits the chain link fence, you see this kind of like almost perfect sphere just like cut through and just bounce off into the distance and eventually dissipate. Okay, so what do you guys want to do now? We'll go back with Ruben first because technically he kind of did go first, kind of. So I'm gonna let him go first this time.
Okay. I am going to... Fuck it. I am going to shoot this dog, like, as many times as I possibly can. It's on my goddamn back, and it's going to kill me.
Yeah, that is true. Sure.
And for apparently no reason whatsoever. I was only obeying the orders that the Germans shouted, apparently, even though I didn't understand them. But anyway, I'm being killed, so I'm going to shoot a dog.
You're between it and the professor. Sorry, between it and the doctor. So
yes.
It
So
is
I'm
a
going
dog.
to fire my horrific Browning high pressure at it.
Go for it.
Ooh. That's not as terrible as it could have been. But it's still pretty shit. It's an 11, despite having like everything I could possibly have added to it. 10, because I suck.
Yeah, that's true. And as you fire this pistol off, again, like the dog is attacking your back, and you have the pistol in your hand, and you're trying to like spin it round and like twist, but you just can't get the angle on it, and you fire, and it just goes shooting off. I tell you what, for sheer shits and giggles, roll a d12 for me.
Also, I noticeably fire an English gun.
I'm sure that'll be noticeable in the dark.
Yeah.
9.
A 9.
To be fair, this is probably the most brightly lit area in the whole place.
You hear another "Woo!" as you fire off, and you kill and just destroy the other dog. As you see this other dog like getting back up, and you're like awkwardly trying to fire, and just take the other dog out, and you guys basically see this dog as it leaps kind of like push back in cinematic style. You know it wouldn't happen, but it's happening.
Nice.
You see it bounce back and roll off. Okay, let's say it is now the Colonel's go.
Okay. Well, one of these people just threw a thing of nastiness, which isn't right. So he needs to be shot in the face very quickly.
Okay. He's fairly close. He's fairly close.
I'm sure. I think that's enough to remove his face.
is it?
12.
Yeah, go on then.
He's pretty close.
He is pretty close, yeah, and he has just been surprised by the heroic actions of Renda.
13 damage.
Yeah, you basically... what are you shooting with him, by the way? Small gun, big gun?
I'm shooting with my rifle.
Oh, a rifle. Okay, yeah, you basically put it and aim at his face, and you essentially just see his face disappear through the back of his skull, as he just then hits the deck and dies. Through the power invested in me, he is dead. Okay, Renders, what are you up to, man? Oh, wait, you had your go. Apologies. Companion. You can see that there is one cultist currently running back towards the building, and you see a dog. A dog is attacking the back of the professor.
I aim at the fleer.
Are you... Okay, sure. Take an attack roll. Are you aiming for center mass? Are you trying to take out his legs?
Center mass.
Good girl.
Botch.
Lovely.
Okay. Okay. Tech is 1, Spanners is 2, Thirsty is 3, and Dev is 4. Roll a d4.
Not just gun breaking.
2.
You aim for the roll some damage for me.
Yes. No, wait, no, it wasn't a botch.
It wasn't a box, it was just one.
Sorry.
Oh, what's wrong with you people? Don't get me overexcited.
Yeah.
Your shot just goes completely wide then. God damn it! Fuck.
It was just an 8.
No, you completely miss. Utterly miss. Okay. I believe now it is the doctor's go.
Okay, so clearly I'm not going to be able to do anything about this stage running. Are the dogs neutered?
I hadn't asked. I didn't think it would be prudent to ask. Okay.
So, can I assume no?
Let's go with no. Let's assume they still have
There's
everything needed.
a large dog on us. Now I'm not going to be able to kind of go over and shoot it. So I would like to kind of reach around the professor and grab this dog by its nuts, and twist until it lets him go.
Take
I appear to be playing the wrong character.
Take a grapple check, I guess.
Grapple those things off.
Let's do this.
This is going to be quite tough.
Oh.
I crit.
That's what she said. Oh no!
Oh, you crit. It's a bit hard. Oh.
You reach back randomly, like, I think I roughly know where these nuts are. You grab them, you give them a really hard, like, twist, and this dog lets go of the professor. Oh my god, and you just hear, like, are you gonna let go? Or are you just holding on? You're just gonna hold
I'm
on.
going to keep twisting until it goes away.
You...
You're holding on.
You're holding on to it. It can't get away unless you decide to let it go. It can't get away because you crit.
Is it whimpering yet?
It is definitely
Oh, yeah.
whimpering in pain. This poor dog is like,
Yeah, I'll let go.
Fucking hell.
this poor dog is
I
whimpering
need to come back
in
somewhere.
pain like you have never heard before in your life. It is screaming, it is yelling, and the dog is definitely trying to get away, but every time it tries to pull away, you refuse to let go of its nuts to make it worse. So it can't leave until you decide to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let it go.
Okay, eventually you let go of this poor dog's nuts, and you guys just sit running in the other direction. It actually, like, balls off into, like, past the colonel, past the captain, like, up the pathway, which you guys kind of, like, stuck to the edge of to get down here. This thing is just gone in the distance, man. I can't put this dog through any more pain, so I'm GTFOing that dog. It's now protected by a cloud of meta because of what you did to it. Okay.
Oh no, landmines. Bam.
Alright, it is, I believe that's everyone's had a go. So it is now the cultist go. The cultist, seeing what you did to the dog, is a little bit Nine. And it just begins to again create this dark purple energy, and it will throw it down at where you two are laying and where Renders is nearby. Oh no, you killed that one, didn't you? The other guy has run off into... Yeah, that's right, yeah, the other guy has made it into the building because no one managed to actually stop him. And he gets swallowed up by the darkness. And he runs in there. What do you... What do you guys want to do now? Let's assume that you guys can all meet back up and you're all together, so...
Well, I assume now, like, we may as well just take advantage of the situation, because I'd actually been reported that what we need is in there. So, I'd probably shout for the specialist to go take cover, and then run in with... Well, I'd run in with Render, Captain, and myself to go and to go and follow the soldier who's run into the temple.
So we go in, guns blazing.
I believe that's the correct approach. But I don't know if you should. I don't know if you should go first. I'm not sure if you'd be up to the challenge.
I could maybe medic some people if people are hurt.
I want you two to roll d12s. I know what he's doing.
5.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you suddenly feel like you're being like, you know, someone's challenging your authority. It's like, I can do this. Of course we can go in there guns blazing. Of course I should go first. How dare you?
Wait, who are you talking to when you said go first? I thought you were talking to the specialists.
No, I was talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got him. That's why I got you two to roll. He's invoking your overconfidence.
And I just snagged a legendary point from you.
You just snagged yourself a legendary point. You now feel like you want to go first.
I am going first. What are you talking about?
And Render, having been convinced to go first, runs past the people in desperate need of medical attention.
No. You now are like assured that you're going first. So if you would like to administer some sort of healing to your companions, you can.
I would like to administer some sort of healing to my companions.
Okay. Who are you starting with?
Who's most hurt?
Describe your wounds.
I've been ravaged by a large dog.
Oh, wow.
I also had my legs shredded by razor wire.
You should probably look at that.
Essentially, there's nothing on my back apart from the back of my head, which is intact.
Okay.
You definitely need to look at Reuben.
Yes.
Because he's clearly nearly going to die.
All right.
Look at him.
I need this to be a two-way. Yeah, a three-way roll. All three of you roll d12s.
No, I was indicating a number of hit points.
I don't care. All three of you roll because I know what they're doing.
Not one of those.
9.
6.
Okay, so the two of you 9s reroll.
3.
4.
A legendary point goes to Tech again. And you're suddenly become very concerned that you've been across razor wire, and who knows who could have cut themselves in that first. That dog, I mean, not only is this dog like, you know, probably some sort of feral creature, it could also be like inhabited by weird magical diseases too. I mean, he can't even see this. He doesn't know what he's looking for.
Anyway, I guess I administer medic to Reuben then, because that's what everyone said to do.
Including Reuben.
And I
Who's
crit.
now? And you crit. Okay. Roll. What's your rank in medic?
My rank in medic, is that including my ability?
No, just the ranks.
Just the ranks. Let's say 3. And I also have
Roll a
healing
d10.
touch. You turn. Oh. 2.
Fucking Muppet.
So yes, you heal him for 4. I'm not giving you your skill bonus because that's too OP in this horrible, harsh little world what we're building.
Okay.
So you basically apply a plaster to him. It's right, you're keeping up the Render's tradition of being a terrible medic.
And companions still up on the hill, I assume, because you're a sniper.
No, I was gonna say all of you all would be back together now.
Okay.
At this point, I assume I just flop over on my back in the mud, just like, cooling. Because literally all you've done is like wash it with a goddamn canteen.
You're going to get dirt in that.
Oh, fuck you all.
Roll them. You two are the worst. Roll them.
6.
I wish I could show the camera this. It's a 12.
In that case, you get the legendary point, and you suddenly become aware that, hang on it, I'm lying with open wounds in a pile of dirt.
Oh damn! I get up and like, what other buildings are there around here apart from this terrifying ritual structure?
It's this terrifying ritual structure, you name it, is the only building around.
Shit.
Okay.
Alright, so
Right.
what are you guys doing? What's the plan?
Okay, we're going in there, so we're going to send in Corporal Render first. Companion, you need to bring up the rear and keep a very careful eye out because there's not a lot of difference in our uniforms, so we need to make sure you put your best eyes out.
No, I'm not allowing that.
What? That's outrageous.
I'm not allowing that. But carry on.
Why not?
I can see what you're trying, but no, carry on.
Okay, and the two specialists, you guys just take somewhere. You go with Captain and up on the hill there and watch from a safe distance and provide covering fire if we come out in a hurry.
Are we needed in order to get this sickle? Is there anything that is required in order to obtain it or make it leave the rim?
I think there's a dude holding it, wasn't there? Or a couple of dudes.
There are 2 people holding it. Did you report everything that you saw to the Colonel?
Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
maybe.
We're doing that now.
If you want to do that now, do it now. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just- I'll
while
take
while
it.
I'm being patched up, I assume the doctor can fill him in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far as you, I mean, yeah, I assume that you two would be sharing information about what the sickle is and all that, yada yada yada. Are you actually? I need to actually ask that specifically. Professor, are you sharing the information that you found out independently of all the mystic stuff? Are you sharing that with the Colonel? You probably, I would say, assume that you share it with the Doctor as well, but this is up to you.
Yeah. Well, the doctor had access. Well, doctor had access to the same background as I would, but didn't have to do the same conclusions. So yeah, I will subsequently share this stuff, being that I'm now terrified I'm goddamn dying, and no one will know. And unless I pass on my wisdom, imminently.
Yes, because there is this Nimra Rosen, isn't there?
The Nimerizan, yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, as you know it, I'm going to have you explain it in character to everyone else. For example, if you are sharing it with the Colonel, then do it in character. If not, then you're just sharing it with the professor, the Doctor.
Okay. The Nimerizan, as they are known, a sort of a cult of dedicated assassins that operate on the behest of a being known as Yamel. That obviously this seems to be dedicated to. I told you about the sickle previously. They seemed, we saw they had it inside, and apparently this is the. I sort of, I pull the Colonel a bit closer and just talk in his ear. It's like, this is the object.
Yep.
This is the mission. To do with as we must.
Okay. We'll be back shortly.
Hello, chaps. Well, can every single one of them?
Don't break it.
Oh
If
God,
you
no! Oh God, no!
No,
break
don't
it.
break it. That's incredibly important. If you break it, quite literally, all hell breaks loose.
We'll do our best. I'll turn to the rest of the squad and go try and...
Say, Abigail, you don't believe in hell, do you?
Anyway, we've wasted enough time. Let's go.
Abigail, you would definitely know that if this was supposed to be broken after the words you've just heard and the scenes that you have just seen mixed in with all the mystical stuff that you've been made aware of, breaking this would break a hole through the veil of seeming. So the three of you gonna go in.
Yeah. I just said, try not to shoot the scythe and let's go. And Render's taking the lead because I antagonized him.
Okay. All right. So the two specialists are going up the hill with the captain and Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I was going to mention Kirk earlier, but
Yep.
I figured you probably
I think
just
it's
said
Corporal Kirk actually. Either way, we have
Right.
Kirk and Smith have taken you two off to relative safety back in the tree line. And
Sergeant Kirk.
Sergeant Kirk. I don't remember his rank.
So I was looking for it on the notes. Like, where the hell is he?
Where the fuck is he?
Why don't we just stand at the door so if anyone tries to run away, we can kill them? Or Kirk can kill them while we stand nearby.
If reinforcements turn up, they'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Reinforcements turn up, the mission fails, and everyone dies anyway.
Well, if reinforcements turn up and you're not standing in the doorway, you can shoot them from the hill there.
It's
Rather than
not
have
really a
to
hill,
go
but there is a
behind.
tree.
I stand there with my admittedly high-powered pistol from the hill up there. I missed the dog that was there.
Is the hill... So the hill kind of has a slope that goes towards the door?
Yeah, you can see the door from it.
There isn't a hill, but there is a tree.
Okay.
The tree line. Is the
Sorry,
tree line
okay.
slope?
Soldiers need to go shoot people now. Shoo!
Yeah, there's a tree line. You can definitely see everything from the tree line.
I thought the captain's prepared to run in there, and the two special. Excuse me. I need to check this thing with you. We're gonna go shoot people. Just stand over there. Don't get in the way.
Okay.
Basically, don't get shot.
Okay, the three of you are... So, Kirk and Smith are taking the two specialists into the tree line. You guys can see the entrance and the kind of like the official entrance in the fencing and stuff, and you can see the entrance into the building. The other three of you are about to go assault the thing. Are you going through the little door, or are you going through the main door?
Yeah, we need to charge through that door because the cultists that went in there to alert them went in there like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's the big door.
So they've had plenty of time to kind of rush through the rest of this ritual, so every second we're not running in there at full speed is another second the world could be ending.
Okay, you guys rush in through the main entrance.
Yeah.
Again, you notice that this is like you can see that there are lights up in the corners, and they are like kind of those red emergency lights. But this corridor doesn't last for very long. It's very short, and as soon as you enter this darkness, which makes you feel just incredibly cold, ahead of you, you can see almost as soon as you penetrate this dark layer, you can see that there is a smaller chamber in front of you, and there is a door just in front behind, just like almost in front of you. But in here, you can see there is what looks like a stone table, a very old stone table with a bunch of different, well, weird carvings on there. None of you know anything about this stuff, so it's just a bunch of weird carvings all over it. And you notice that there are candles set in each of the corners of this kind of like table, which is here. And on it, you can see what are clearly dark stains. You guys being soldiers, you know what bloodstains look like under red light, and these are definitely bloodstains, and the entire room here is laden with it. It's just from ceiling to floor, just this dark stain in different kind of orientations. And you can also see that in the walls, sort of like suspended pathway across the ground through the use of manacles and all the such things, you can see partially rotted remains. Some are skeletal, some are definitely very, very fresh. And you can see all this around the edge. You can see some of the fresher ones where they have been gutted. You can see like their intestines spilling out onto the floor, and you can just see these little flickers of something in some of the eye sockets. And this is what you guys see when you're in this room. Ahead in the doorway, you can see the back of what you think was a cultist that just moved out of sight.
Is there anything moving in this room?
The cultist that
Take a
just
perception check.
Ooh, rolled an actual 10. Where's that? 13.
13.
As high as I can possibly get.
On a 13, you don't notice anything moving, but as you guys like move in, you're the first as well. As you move into where this table is, you notice that there seems to be like a pattern to these runes, and as you look more intently at the runes, you see that some of them are out a little bit. What?
I just want to clarify my stance of what he was actually doing. It was more of as he's charging through the room and about to leap over the table.
Yes, this is what you're going to notice. You are pretty much
bound over the table and knock everything flying.
as you are running through, you are still going to notice this. Because for you, this is not exactly evident, but you can just notice it. Like, there's a difference between something being flat and something that's slightly depressed.
Okay.
So yeah, as you go bounding towards this table, you notice at the kind of like the front portion that there are a couple of runes that look like everything around it has been depressed slightly, and it definitely looks like some sort of switch. If you want to ignore that and go bounding over the table, that's entirely up to you, but this is what you see.
I'm going for the people. Yeah, I go bounding over the table.
Okay. Right, you go bounding over the table. Right. What are you rest y'all doing? Are you following him?
Did I see this cultist stepping into this doorway?
You saw the cultist like move at the end of like kind of where this doorway is. It's like another small corridor, but you saw him like dart probably left because everything goes left in our world.
Okay, so he's out of sight now, basically.
Absolutely. You just
Okay,
saw like
in
the
that
flicker of a back of a robe sort of thing.
In that case, I'm gonna leg it after Render there.
Okay. And companion?
I didn't realise I was in the room, to be honest.
You are basically you guys moved as a 3. You're the rear point.
Okay,
You're covering our backs.
Yep.
then I will stay to the rear and cover the backs. Then
Take a perception check for me.
can you roll, please?
Oh, wow, your perception is really shit.
8.
She has 1 perception.
You don't really notice anything worth a damn. As you go barreling after these guys, making it a little bit slower, a little bit more cautious, trying to keep an eye on what's going on behind you, but you don't really notice anything all that much.
To be fair, I don't have very good eyesight.
Roll against yourself, no.
No.
Alright. You guys go barreling across this room, and as you get there, you see a junction going left and going right. You follow the dude going left because that's our perchance here, and you come across a small room. This room has maybe 2 or 3 beds in here. Looks like they're on some sort of hot bunks. Sorry, you see they're on obviously some sort of hot bunking system. You don't see a lot of personal effects here. You just see some beds, and you see a small kitchenette off to one side. And in here, you notice that there are 2 males, and you see the person in the robe again just whip around out of this room into another doorway that goes off to the right. The 2 people, as they have been alerted, they are kind of hiding behind the kitchen-ish area, and you see them like trying to grasp for knives, for anything, a frying pan, anything they could use to defend themselves or go at you with. What do you guys want to do?
I open fire.
I'll put a bullet into one as I go past.
You guys are doing this as you're not even breaking step.
I'm
You're just
stopping. These guys just these currently unarmed cultists. So as I run past, I'll just put a shot into centre mass and carry on.
okay. All right. So you guys, without breaking step, are gonna fire into these poor, defenseless human beings. Okay.
Oh, yes, these poor defenseless cultists living in the mouth of oblivion.
Well, when you put it like that,
you've got everything comes to you.
yeah.
I just live on the doorstep of hell. I'm not evil.
I miss badly.
So what did you get? You got a miss.
Got like a 7.
Okay, yeah, there's no way. You're just basically spray and pray, and they duck down a little, but you don't really hit them. You're too busy focusing on trying to chase down this colorist.
Covering fire.
13.
Yeah, that's not missing. That's suppressing fire.
You could call it whatever you need to get yourself to sleep at night, my friend. What did you got a 13?
Yep.
Roll some damage for me.
14.
Hell yeah, you
Oh
blow,
no, sorry, 16.
you blow this motherfucker away. You just like pull out your gun, you don't even break stride as you kind of like look down your sights as a couple of steps and pop one, and yeah, you see this like, nice happy red flower emitting from his chest as the blood just like flows everywhere, and he hits the deck. Companion, are you joining in this spray and praying larky, or are you gonna try and finish up the last guy?
I'll try and finish up the last guy.
Okay, make an attack roll.
I would point out I haven't been spraying and praying. I've actually been taking aim and shooting.
Yeah.
Our Yankee friend here has been kind of.
Okay, because he's spraying and praying, yes, he's American.
No.
What'd you get?
I rolled a 3.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, you guys go hurtling into the other room as I sneeze. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Render has become Render has become the sergeant from Band of Brothers, whose name I can never remember, who has the Tommy gun, the badass Italian one, whose nickname was Gonorrhea. So you are now Corporal Rendario in my head.
Okay, perfect. Now back with you. Okay, you guys go hurtling into the chamber room. You come out to the side of it, so ahead of you, you see the green cultist with his arms in the air, but he's actually looking towards his two acolytes now, holding this almost comically large scythe. Now you're up close to it, you can see it's made of a very, very dark wood, and the blade itself is dull, and it's clearly exceptionally sharp. You always get kind of that glint of how sharp this thing is. And you can see the two acolytes just holding it in front of this guy, and he has both of his arms up in the air. And again, he is spouting nonsense about bringing forth the mail and about to break this thing. Now you're on this side, you can see that the four cultists who are in the room are standing in front of these kind of like very small plimps with little small bowls on them, and you can see that in many of them they are either sand or it's blood or it's water or it seems to be filled with this kind of like mist. And you can see that each of them have their hands in this, and you can see that the essences of whatever they're holding is beginning to permeate through their bodies, and they are holding these kind of like just slightly above their bowls. You can see they are holding these kind of very, very sharp knives, almost like machetes in the kind of their design. And you can see that their eyes are rolled back into the heads, even sort of under the hoods, because they are lit by something odd in this room. I need all of you to make mental endurance rolls for me, please.
Oh god.
13.
You're fine.
4.
Uh-oh, that's a fail.
4 and a botch.
Oh! Who got the botch? Uh-oh. Okay. On a 13, you have been feeling scared and tired and cold for like almost the entirety of this goddamn mission, and you've just about had enough of this shit. Like, nope, I'm not dealing with this shit right now. You put it on the back burner to deal with another day. You bottle. However, Renders, as you step into this room, this cold feeling begins to permeate as you breathe in. It's like when you step out into the snow for the first time and you're like, oh crap, and it's cold. It just runs along the back of your head and down your throats into your kind of like into your lungs. Everything suddenly feels like it's paralyzed. Like you can't move and you begin trembling, and it's a feeling that you just can't get rid of. It's bone achingly cold. So I need you to add cold into your weakness tags.
If I type anything in, it'll break.
Just remember, you guys can remember it's there. He is cold. Companion, I'm sorry. As you step into this room, and again you breathe that cold in, it runs down your back, it runs into something into your lungs. You suddenly feel like you're taking a back seat in what your body is doing, and you get this feeling like you've been invaded by something, and just in the back of your mind you can just hear that slow whispering, and it's that point where you can't quite pick out the words, but the whispering is there, and it slowly begins to build and build, and that's where I'm going to hold on to that feeling. So I need you to add cold as a weakness, and also add voices as another weakness, so all of you get to have fun with that.
Yeah.
I will also have fun with that because it's so fun. Okay. This is what you guys sense and feel when you come into this room. What do you want to do?
I'm going to bring my rifle to bear on the green robe cultist and attempt to blow the side of his head off.
Go for it. You aren't super close, but you are close.
I'm going to spend a legendary point to reroll that one.
That's why you have him.
Better. 14.
14. Roll some damage and then halve it for me, please.
Okay. Oh. 4. Unfortunately, I rolled the lowest I could possibly roll on damage.
That's fine. I'm so happy with that. As you guys like run round, and you seem to notice that this cultist, as soon as you've walked into the room, it may be something to do with the fact that 2 of you failed or 1 of you botched. You see him whip his head around to the side of you, and he sees this weapon being held to bear on him. And as soon as he looks at you, you see his hands suddenly move apart, and then close in front of him, and you see this very shimmery kind of greenish barrier appear around him. As your shot definitely connects, it definitely takes him in the shoulder, but it's nowhere near as effective as it would have been. It's almost as if it's been slowed somewhat. Okay. Alright, it is... I'm going to say it's now the green cultist guys go. Because the two of you are kind of frozen, albeit for a little bit. So I'm going to put him further in the initiative. Do not fuck this, my man. He does not fuck this. Oh, I'm so happy. You see him reach out for the scythe, and he takes it, takes, apparently, apparently the bot has stopped your word, bitch. Weird. The auto bots are like, no, please don't use the word bitch. Why not? That's what we... No mind. You see the cultist reach out and grab the scythe with both of his hands, taking it from the apprentice, and he raises it high. And you see greenish energy form around both hands, and you see a dark purplish energy form around the scythe, and that's where he's going to hold his position for the moment. So, Rend as a companion, what do you want to do?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's you too.
Can I do anything? What can I do?
You can now.
Frozen. I can.
You can now. You feel cold. You feel uncomfortable. You're aware that there are a lot of people in here, and you're aware that this dude is holding a scythe above his head, and that there's weird green shit coming out of him and weird purple shit, and it's not right.
It's time to expend the rest of the ammo.
Yeah. I want to get as close to him as possible and just as point blank as possible, just unload.
Into him?
Yeah. Where else?
Bold move. Carry on.
Charging
This is a
across
bold
the room.
move. Render.
Extended one hand, screaming.
Take an attack roll.
Yes. That'll be a 15 to hit.
You definitely hit. Roll some damage and halve it for me, please.
Shit. I also rolled as low as I possibly can.
Yes. He gets to live maybe a little longer.
3 down.
3. Jesus, guys. Oh, come on. I like say give the guy half a chance, but jeez. Okay.
I did roll really awfully on my last shot.
Yes, you did, and I'm so happy by that. All right, companion. What do you want to do? You've just seen your other. You have just seen. I was gonna say your companion, but you are companion. You have just seen Rinders walk in there and point blank with a Tommy gun, like spray and pray, but doesn't seem to be doing much. What do you want to do?
I will aim at the green cultist and fire.
Where are you aiming? Center mass, headshot, arm, scythe.
Center mass.
Go
Aim for the fuzzy bit in the middle.
Aim for the scythe, please. Okay. Aim for center mass. Cool.
Yeah.
It's like a 15 as well, I think.
15, yeah.
You definitely hit.
One extra damage than me.
Wow, guys. So that was 4. Wow. He's looking peaky.
Three people unloaded into him. He's just like, oh.
He's looking a little bit peaky. As you see him hold this staff above his head, you see the two different coloured energies, the purple and the green, begin to split away from his hands, away from the scythe, and you see the green go off to his left-hand side as you see this figure appear, probably 5'8", 5'9", something like that, and they seem to be carrying some sort of really large, long gun, but you can just see this kind of inner silhouette, almost in a void of green. And off to this cultist's right-hand side, you see a much larger, almost like 7-foot figure of this giant hulking person. And again, it's just more like a purple void that's just appeared either side. And you hear him yell out, Jesus. When we break your sickle, you will be freed, and these shards will bring the slain into your service. We bring your slain into our service now. Get them. And he points towards where you are, holding the scythe, one hand in the air. But he kind of can't... Actually, I'm going to make him take a strength roll because it's just too funny. Yeah, pretty much. I was like, it's a comically large scythe.
Does he topple over backwards? Because that'd be fantastic.
You just see him. There's like, I mean, what? And you see him just like fall back, all legs and all arms, as he hits the ground. I would like one of you to roll roll anything. Odds, odds it breaks. Even it doesn't.
Even 6.
It clatters to the floor, released from his grasp, but it rolls out sort of like towards where the other 4 are. It bounces a good way, but nothing shatters, nothing breaks. What do you guys want to do now?
Can I leap on the scythe?
Sure, of course you can. Take a reflex roll for me.
A reflex?
Yeah, let's do a reflex.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever actually used that before. 9.
Yeah, you make it, you jump towards it, and you definitely have it, but you're not up in any position to wield it or use it, so to speak. I need you to make a mental endurance roll for me. This is going to be pretty tough.
Oh, I'm good at these.
Oh, you're confident in that, are you?
I need you both to roll d12s. Both of you roll d12s before you make that roll.
I got a 10 anyway for my endurance save, and is this like an actual skill check?
No, it's just you two. It's just straight dice rolls between the two of you.
11. Do you want to click it?
Yes, because you're terrible at this.
Would you like some actual dice? Because I actually have like 3 sets of dice here.
I got 11. She got 9.
I thought you rolled a 10.
I got 10 for my save.
He rolled an 11 for the legendary thing.
Okay. In that case, I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't get the legendary point, and you don't have to play into your weakness of being overconfident. But you do have that. So what was your mental endurance roll?
10.
A 10. You... As soon as you grab it, your mind is almost wrenched from your body. You are pulled through to somewhere different. It's definitely not this plane. It's definitely not Earth. It's not Earth as you know it. In fact, it's nowhere as you know it. It's not even like a dream as you know it. This place is dark. It's cold. You can hear skittering in your ears. And as you kind of open your eyes and look around at this new space that your mind has been brought into, you can see ahead of you there are beings, there are creatures. Some of them are something you would maybe see on Earth, like a bug or an octopus or something like that. But some of them are so oddly shaped. They are just mushes of kind of weird gaseous entities. Some of them with bright eyes that stare at you. Some of them don't. Some of them have crooked smiles that aren't horizontal. They're more like vertical in nature, and they just seem to be staring intently at you and smiling. And the one with its head turned slightly to the side, with its eyes just focusing at you, kind of slits like cats, makes its way towards you, but you can't move. You can't pull yourself away from this. And you just
Come
hear...
at me, bro.
You what, sorry? What?
Come at me, bro.
Oh, God.
Right, I'll get back to that in a minute. And this thing comes towards you, and you feel it whispering into your ear. Don't let my children release me. This is your one task, else I shall let my full force render your world apart, starting with you. And then you are straight back in your body as your body bounces off of the stone floor. And that's where I'm going to call a break, because I think it's like 9:30ish, something like that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take 10 minutes because I really need to cough and sneeze and do all the nose blowing shit. So we will be back soon. Hello everybody and welcome back as we get into the finale side of this really rather random ass game that we've pulled together. Alright, so the last thing we heard, saw and experienced was Renders kind of being pulled to somewhere and experiencing a voice ordering him to do something. You have the scythe in your hand. You suddenly feel a lot of power flowing through your arms, through your body, through your entire being. What do you want to do?
I behead the green guy.
You could definitely try, my man.
Go reaping.
Yeah, go reap him. Are you sticking it in his head or are you reaping his head off?
He's on the floor at the moment, isn't he? So it'd be hard to reap his
Oh
head.
yes, yeah, he was laying on the ground. Yeah.
This rates him.
So I just need to just like stab it into his eye or into the top of his head or something.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Delicately.
Or just use something else.
Delicately and precisely trying to extract his brain.
Okay.
With a very low roll.
Uh-oh.
End up too delicate.
What would that be? That would be a 8.
You basically go shitink into the ground as you see him just like roll away a little bit from the impact of this the point of the scythe. Okay, companion, what do you want to do?
Shoot at one of the other ones.
Which one? There are 2 acolytes standing up where the cultist was, where the green cultist was standing, and you can see these 2 kind of like forms like standing in front of them. You can also see 4 other cultists standing a bit further back in front of these, like standing behind these kind of like bowls with different fluids in them. Which one are you aiming for?
What do you want?
Can I move as well? Sorry.
No. No, technically you had an extra go, so no.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
I will shoot at one of the 2 standing where the green one used to be.
Okay, sure. Take an attack roll.
12.
You're fairly close. And yeah, the bullet goes sailing square into the shoulder of one. Roll some damage. Alert, the cat tree's falling over. Someone, anyone, Roasty. Carry on. I'm replying to chat. I don't know if anyone noticed.
Okay.
You can't see it.
There's a cat tree that's falling over. So yeah.
Okay.
14.
Yeah. Sorry.
14 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it. You manage to take him like square in the shoulder, and you see it like fly out the other side. Just all this kind of like it's kind of bones basically just like eviscerate from one side, and you just see him drop like a stone. Nice, Colonel. The relic is indeed within your possession, or one of your possessions. What do you want to do?
I'm going to try and kill off this green dude in case he's going to cause any more problems.
Okay.
And the shield seems to have gone down now, isn't it?
You what? Sorry.
The shield he was holding over
You
himself.
either need to put the mic closer to your face or up the gain. You are very quiet again.
How's that?
Much better.
Okay, so I'm going to shoot the green dude. I assume his shield has fallen off now. As he
It has
drops.
indeed, yeah. You don't see this weird shimmery.
11. Not a bunch, just 11. I am standing right over him.
Yeah, I'm standing over him, and he is laying on the ground, so yes.
Cool.
How do you want to finish him off? Because he had virtually no hit points left.
Okay, just aim for the chest area and just blow a hole.
And though, by the power invested in you, you blew a hole in him. He's
Cool.
bereft of life. Alright, what do you 3 want to do now?
Now that we've got this thing, I'm gonna order render out with the scythe. I'm like, get that outside, don't break it, and I'll cover his retreat.
Okay.
Can I just be like, but we could kill them all? Because I feel powerful.
You can do.
You can do, but you're being ordered to leave.
Do you feel confident?
I'm a good soldier. I should follow my orders.
However, I want you both to roll d12 because she is trying to push you to stay, and it's hilarious.
No,
This
Feel
will determine
powerful
your reaction.
And overconfident. Powerfully overconfident, you may say.
Oh.
Yeah, win.
Alright,
Yeah.
then you get a legendary point.
Well,
And Renders, you don't want to follow orders. You want to stay here and destroy everything in this room. At least for this
Sorry,
round.
boss, they need to die. I start swinging.
Take an attack roll. What are you swinging at?
The nearest human that isn't a friend.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
just
It
pick
starts
one.
playing in the
Just,
background.
just pick one.
Can I just like hold it out and start spinning?
Sure.
No, that'd be dangerous. It'd break it. You could smash it against the wall. No, I will do it properly. I will.
There's a gigantic dude to your like one side of you.
Are they? No, they're spirit things, aren't
They're
they?
kind of
Nice.
smoky, spirit voidy things. They seem to be kind
Okay,
of.
I
They're not
thought-
exactly solidifying, but they are becoming more. Like you've suddenly put on a pair of glasses, becoming more focused.
Maybe I can control them now that I'm holding the scythe. That's what the guy did.
Is that what you want to do?
I do.
All right.
You kill that guy over there, and I point to one of the other cultists.
Make a manipulate charisma for me. Which one are you pointing at, or are you trying to command them both?
Biggest one.
The big dude. All right.
Yeah. Manipulate charisma. That's a 7.
You
I do have the scythe of power.
you see the big outline, this kind of void kind of creature. Take a few steps towards the cultists, and then you sort of kind of like hesitate as to what to do. It's kind of moving closer, but it's not doing it easily or quickly. It's definitely not going to get there this round. Okay.
Round.
Yeah, round, inverted commas. Colonel, one of your subordinates is being insubordinate. What do you want to do?
I'm going to grab him by the collar and yank him out, kind of throw him up the corridor.
Okay, take a strength, take opposed grapple. If you want to oppose, you can. You don't have to. You're no longer under the influence of you have to stay.
I will not oppose.
Okay, then you grab him and you throw him up the corridor.
Yeah, and follow after him. But I'm kind of following after him, but I'm kind of also looking back to see if any of these cultists are following us.
Alright, I assume Companion is moving with you in this regard. Okay, I want you both to take a... Actually, you don't need perception checks, this is blatantly obvious. As you guys back up, you see the shadow figures, the purple and the green one, just be kind of step forward and then realise that this kind of scythe is not moving towards them, and they are backing up, kind of like a thing in the games where you hit the wall and it gets pulled back with you. You pretty much see both of these doing that, against an invisible wall that is pushing them back. They don't seem to want to be going with, but they are. You see the remaining acolyte that's on the centre just look around confused and scared, and it rushes off to where the other 4 are. You don't hear any other movement, you don't see any other movement towards you. All you can see are these 2 kind of void creatures just being pulled back with the scythe.
I guess we could deal with those when we're outside, but for now, let's get back to our specialists.
Okay, I need the dude wielding the scythe to make a mental endurance roll for me.
Oh, I'm so good at these. I botch.
Okay.
That was such glee.
This is going to be so funny.
You begin to hear those weird kind of whispers, that kind of someone's talking at the very back behind your neck, and that kind of hair on the back of your, everywhere just stands up on end, and you're constantly tense, and you're hearing these voices whisper in your ears. You also have voices added to your weakness. So that's up for everyone else to play with. Alright, you guys make it outside. Are you heading towards where you left the specialists?
Yep.
Alright, specialist, you see these 3 come running out. You see that one of them is holding the scythe like a mighty warrior. You also see, as they're running towards you, kind of being pulled out of the building through the side. You see this kind of small purplish figure, and you see this much, much larger, greener figure. Again, just kind of almost battling against the edge of where they can go, being pulled almost with where their scythe is moving around. You guys meet back up. These 2 figures are standing at the edge away from you. They seem to be closer, and you would tell from their gesticulations maybe they're communicating somehow, but they can't hear anything.
I run up to the specialist and go, "How do I turn it off?"
Turn it off. It's an artifact of a fucking god. Put it down.
I put it down.
Make a mental endurance roll.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay. Can I put it down? I botch.
You do not want to put this down. No matter what they say or what they do, you are not putting this down.
Okay. I don't put it down.
What the hell are you doing, man?
I hold it a little bit closer.
Seeing this strange behaviour from Brenda, I'm going to go and go. That's enough. I'll take it from here, lad. Just
No.
attempt to take it
This
off.
is mine.
This is a comically huge size, by the way.
Yeah.
Just it's way bigger than anyone would normally want, but it's emanating power. You can just feel it.
Yeah.
Are you not obeying your superior officer? That's obviously ever so confident.
Or under the influence of a dark power.
Roll. I need you both to roll those checks. That's just too funny.
4.
11.
She wins. Yep. You definitely don't want to. You were like, actually, I've got the power. I've got the scythe of power. Fuck you, boss.
You're my subordinate now.
Can I just aim at the pointed part of the scythe that's basically not near him?
Yeah.
It's comically huge.
Yep.
Can I just aim at that with my gun and then just shatter it?
Are you mad? Dude, that's exactly what we've been told not to do.
Don't break the scythe. Don't break the scythe.
You are aiming
Really?
it at it. Are you firing?
I thought aiming but breaking it was the way to stop it all.
No, that's
No!
No, that's what they want.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. No,
Yeah,
no,
you
no.
see her aiming. You guys are like no.
That's why I gave you the order, don't break the side. Anyway.
Okay, never mind.
Anyway, the side's having an effect on him. Get him! on him.
Are you
And
ordering?
attempt to wrestle the side.
Are you ordering your men to wrestle, or is it just you wrestling it from him?
No, I'm ordering Captain and Companion to take the scythe off him because obviously it's having some kind of weird magic effect on him.
Okay,
Does this have enough of a sway on me, considering I botched that I would start swinging?
it's entirely up to you. I
Well,
mean, you
want
don't
to,
want to
but
let it go.
that's fine.
You don't want to let it go, but you don't necessarily want to hurt your companions. So
No.
this is.
Surely
I'm
the
gonna leave this down
scythe-
to you.
I just run
But
away.
on the other hand,
Sorry,
Ryan's not
Cucumber.
here.
Cucumber,
Yeah.
surely this scythe would actually make him want to break the scythe.
The demons inside said don't break it, actually.
Mm.
The voices say don't do it.
Are you
Okay.
playing the same game as us?
She's
Yeah.
listening to all these voices.
Yeah, you got all these voices in your head that
Do
telling you,
it!
don't
Do
do
it!
what
Break
you
the
just said.
scythe! Do
Ignore
it!
the voice.
It's great fun. You can do it. Break it. It's great.
I'm not having you all roll
Don't
against
break
her
it.
because that's
Don't
just
break the scythe.
ridiculous.
I got a 3.
What? Oh dear.
What are you rolling?
I thought he.
We were
just-
attempting to grapple you
Oh, you're attacking
to
me.
get the scythe off you because
Well,
you're
can you catch me
going
first?
brave.
I've run away.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to grapple you
But
before
he
you do
did. He
that.
did say he was going to grapple you before you started running, so I need
Okay.
you to also make an opposed grapple roll.
Oh,
I rolled very badly, so it's probably fine.
What did you get?
I rolled a 2, and I have no skill in grapple.
And what did the colonel get?
oh, 4. I rolled a 1, but handily I have 3 skill in grapple.
You guys see like the lamest of like like those kind of really stupid girl. Oh,
Wait,
you know the fight in Buffy between Xander and
I win.
what?
He wins.
I rolled a 2, but I have no skill in it. But I do have my ability score, which is 3. So I
Oh.
got a 5.
Then you win. Yes, Colonel, you go to pounce on him.
I got a 6.
But she got a 6.
Oh yeah, the Colonel goes to pounce on you like, ha ha, motherfucker, and then Companion just like mows you down. just out of nowhere, just like from side on, rugby tackles you to the ground. I need Companion to roll a D something. Odds you
A D
break the
something.
staff. Evens
Okay.
it stays whole.
Odds.
Damn it.
You have a
You-
legendary point.
You do have a legendary point. You can re-roll. I'll
Can
allow
I
it.
attempt to try and prevent the scythe from being damaged while she's doing this because I am going in for the grapple at the same time?
Yeah, but you missed.
True.
That's
but that
basically your
doesn't-
action in this moment was to dive on him. So
You landed face first in the mud.
yeah, pretty much.
Fine. I will re-roll and hopefully we'll get an even number.
Okay, go for it.
Nope.
Nope. got an 11.
It was destined.
It's
Destined
destined,
to
to break. After having threatened it with a gun, you finally got your wish. As you
Yay!
dive into Renders and you smash him to the ground, you just hear that crack, and all of you hear it reverberating for miles around. You hear the leaves just like rustle out from you as a center point, as though there's almost been a very small blast wave, but there's nothing affecting you. It's just the kind of like the plant life around here, and it just goes. And you guys become aware that everything is deathly quiet now. Just everything. And you can feel and see that kind of cold mist that is at ground level. You look to where the staff is broken, all of you instinctively look at it, like you feel that pull of like, there it is, it's broken. And you see this kind of like white mist kind of emanating from it, just trickling across the ground.
Can I pick it up?
Yes, of course you can.
Does it follow the scythe?
What, the smoke? It just
Yeah.
seems to be emanating from the point that it broke. Not on the staff, but in
Not my fault.
space.
Huh. I turn to our specialist and go, what now?
Run! You fools!
Okay,
You've broken reality!
I will keep hold of the scythe in case it's of any use or anything and just start legging it.
I need you to make a mental endurance roll.
Oh, wow. So, second worst roll of the night. 6.
You don't want to let this go. You
I'm
feel
not,
the
I'm carrying
power
it.
emanating through your arms. You feel this power emanating through your mind as if suddenly everything is switched on and you're noticing everything. And you feel very cold, but that doesn't bother you. You felt cold before, but it's like, yeah, I'm not too worried. And again, you hear the voice, or you hear this voice in your head, and it basically whispers, "You fools. You utter fools. I will break through and destroy you all." But you don't want to let go of the staff because it's yours.
Cool, that agrees with me.
I'm gonna order a halt from the squad and turn back to face where this mist is forming.
Take a perception roll. In fact, anyone who's looking at where he is looking, take a perception roll.
11.
8. I'm not looking away from the maniac with a fucking blade.
11.
I may be walking away from the maniac with a blade, but I'm not looking away.
So what have we got? Anyone? Okay, I'll rephrase it. Anyone above a 10?
10 or above.
Yeah. All right. You guys notice, were you looking as to where this staff broke, the actual space in which it broke, not the staff itself? Sorry, the scythe itself. You notice that there is a faint shimmering, like a faint shimmering, like a heat haze. Except this is too bloody cold. And you notice that as you're looking, that the large figure and the smaller one that's been moving with the scythe are moving towards this shimmer, and you see the larger one hold the smaller one back and reach out, and you see them both get pulled into this, and the shimmer becomes much, much larger.
Running.
Is the scythe I've got, is it actually cracked or completely sheared?
It is cracked. It's not sheared, it's not broken, it's cracked. Like a like a fracture.
Okay, if I run up there and swipe the scythe at this opening, does it have any effect on it?
Yes. As you swing, you see the scythe cut through this kind of shimmer, and almost like a red hairline fracture from where your blade passes through it. You see this redness, this kind of like oozing, almost like blood dripping from both sides of the shimmer, and it trickles down. And you see it pulsate again, and it gets even bigger. And the part where you've cut it through, that continues further in out, almost like you cracked a mirror, and it's slowly cracking among the rest of it.
Okay, I'm going to kind of keep slicing at it, try and see if I can get rid of this misty portal thing.
Every time you swing, you see it pulsate, and it gets bigger. And you see that red line where you cut through it every single time. This new red appears, and the cracks reach out and form each other. And eventually you guys are looking at this kind of red web of cracks over top of this very large shimmering something. And this huge shimmer is now probably about 10-15 feet in diameter.
I'm going to suggest to our illustrious colonel that perhaps he might want to stop doing this. And just at this point, just explain to him that there is this thing called the Veil of Seeming, which is sort of like, imagine at home where you've got your net curtains and you can't really see through. In order to see onto the other side, you need to kind of create like a little tear. But instead of being able to see through out into your street or into somebody's house, what you are seeing on the other side, it's just not great. Evil, one might say. And if you keep waffing it about and breaking our veil of seeming, those things the other side are coming through. Any chance?
Apparently they're coming through anyway.
They are coming through. Yes, but you're just making the hole bigger, dear.
So imagine like very angry wasps coming through versus very angry people coming through.
Yeah. What you have done is taken the weak point in a net curtain and jammed a hook through it and torn it.
Fair enough. In that case, I will step back and wait for something to come through.
Is anyone running? Is anyone?
I was running. I was running the first time he did this.
Is anyone running with him?
I've already
Kirk, because I'm dragging him with me.
Well, they've got the Earl Grey, so I'm going to.
Okay. Those of you who are attempting to pull the Colonel away, Colonel, are you resisting?
I'm standing here and ordering the squad to hold, to stand ready to attack anything that comes through.
Okay. As you see, both specialists are running. Are you running for the hills? You two are like, fuck this, we know what's coming, fuck this.
Yep.
Kirk goes with you.
I told them they were idiots. I told them what was happening. I'm
Yep.
leaving.
Kirk goes with you. Kirk's not a moron. The captain goes with you because his job is to protect you. Companion and Render, are you obeying the commands of your colonel, or are you like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen and I'm out of here?
That's great, sir. We've got this.
Oh, God.
I have to say, yeah.
Come on, do some invoking. He feels confident and she's not sure what's going on because she can't see it properly.
So
Yes.
all three of the soldiers are staying? Is that what I'm hearing?
We'll hold them back. Slow them down to their retreat.
Okay, there are some things I could say, but I guess I'm not going to be able to because that's dropping way too much meta. What you see step through is this small figure. The small figure is about 5'8", and it's definitely a person. That's definitely a woman, but her clothing isn't right. You see that she's wearing some sort of hats, but again, it's nothing like you've ever seen before. It just sits comfortably on the back of her head. It's dark blue. You see that she has very long, straight red hair that goes to the ground. You can see her eyes are bright red flames, and you see her face is distorted and pulled down as if someone's grabbed her side and just yanked it down. You can see like the kind of lower parts of her jaw and her teeth. Her skin is a mottled green colour, and you can see that she's holding this weapon. It's like a rifle, but it's way bigger. It's more complicated, and it seems to be made of that brass material that the ritual building of hell is made from. And you can see that most of it, again, it's like it's melting. It seems to have formed over her arms, and you can see that there is a very large round thing on top, but it's floating and spinning of its own accord. What do you guys want to do?
I see something start forming, I take a slash at it with the scythe.
Take an attack roll. It's the same stats as a big gun.
Cool. So that's 13.
A 13.
Yep.
You go to slash down at her.
Slash across.
Is the hat on fire? Corone, for you, the hat is now on fire, but she seems to give zero fucks about it.
I take a horizontal, not a vertical slash.
It doesn't matter. You go to swing at her and you completely miss. You swing down and she almost looks up at you and steps back half a step, and you just go shoo, straight down in front of her. You can see like the long hair that she has down to the ground. It kind of ripples a little bit as affected by the airflow, but you've missed.
Okay.
No, Roasty, not everything is on fire. Just her hair and just her hat and her eyes. Render's companion, what are you two doing?
Run forward, me. We're with you, sir. I want to shoot her.
Okay, go for it.
So saying to run forward, you're not using a melee weapon.
I want to miss. And you're standing forward. You're my commanding officer. I want to be standing side by side with my officer.
Fair enough.
Is companion standing on the other side of your commanding officer?
No, I'm going to tell you what companion's doing in a minute.
Okay, excellent.
I rolled a 9.
Again, you go to spray and pray, but she just stands there and just turns her head slowly to look at you instead, just tipping it to one side. You see these bullets just spray almost just past her. It's almost as if like shoo, they're going round, but not.
I look at the colonel and say, "It's been a pleasure serving with you, sir."
Companion, what are you doing?
Well, after she steps through and I see what happens with the scythe, and I just sort of like, there's like a moment of, oh my fucking god, and then I turn and run towards where these guys went.
Take a physical endurance roll for me.
Okay.
Coward!
I don't give a shit. A botch.
Trip over a log.
Can't see where you're going.
Is that? Please tell me that was the thing for my weakness, and I can re-roll.
I'll tell you what.
Don't
In this singular instance, I will let you two do a dice off for a d12. However, if he wins, he gets a legendary point. You stay stuck on your face. If you win, you get to re-roll.
I crit.
Oh,
I got 12.
Please, God.
You can only pray for a 12.
No.
Nope, you stay stuck face down in the ground, and Renders, you get a legendary point.
That's gonna help.
It might do. It might do. Yeah, so you turn and run, but you basically trip over a tree branch, a tree root, and you just go flat on your face. I will say you can get back up and continue running, but you will take 5 points of unmitigated damage.
Alright, that's fine. I haven't taken any damage.
Yep, which is why I'm happy to spam damage at you both. Alright, the two of you running away. You've gone some fair distance. This mist is no longer on the ground. You don't feel that kind of dark entity, that cold entity around you. And behind you, you hear like paf, 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 as you hear and you see, as you hear this gunfire going off. But it's clearly not made any reaction. But you do hear the sound of thump coming from somewhere behind you. What do you guys want to do? I'm going to say you two are basically in parallel with each other. So.
Must run faster. Oh, fuck now.
Where are you running to?
Away.
Do you have a destination, or are you just running?
No, we're just running. You seem a little out of breath. Are you okay? Is that your asthma playing up?
Oh my god, roll d12.
You bitch.
Roll d12.
9.
Unreal.
11.
That is indeed your asthma playing up. You feel like you're going to need to stop any minute now. And yes, Spanish, you get to have a legendary point. You guys are the worst.
I just fall to my knees and like skid to a halt. Somewhere in the forest.
You're stopped. Doctor, are you stopping with him?
Yeah.
Okay, as you two have stopped, probably about 10-15 seconds later, you aware that companion has run up to you, covered in mud, but has definitely run up to you.
Why are you stopped?
Help!
Oh, love, he can't breathe. We need to do something. Have you got the scythe? Pickle thing.
No,
Sorry,
no,
Nicole. Perfect.
Grenades!
If you would like a grenade, you can have one, companion.
Just say one.
Yeah,
It's not-
I have a grenade.
It's reasonable. You could have one.
What do you want me to do with the grenade?
Those things that are coming through, we're not going to kill them with grenades.
No.
It's better than gripping them with dicks in your hands.
To be honest, a red fiery woman step through. She was scary as shit, and nothing that they were throwing at her was doing a thing. So that's why I ran.
No. So nothing we throw physical at her is going to help.
Yeah,
We need to get her back the other side of the tears in the veil. And then somehow probably need to fix it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So what we kind of need to do is to stop them from creating any more of these things, undead things. So it's probably a little bit late to sort of tell you guys how this kind of all works. But
Okay.
yeah, a little bit. Probably should have done that like 3 episodes ago, but never mind. You're fine. So the kind of undead things that we suggested that you were fighting, they're trying to create more of them. And the big hand and the green dude, they are trying to create, or essentially be maybe a zombie army.
It's a bit like
We're
Walking
fucked.
Dead.
Yeah. So we kind of need. So the Veil of Seeming is almost like a dimensional shift. So we if you imagine that you've got the universe, and as the universe is expanding, what is happening here is that you can create sort of universes that kind of cross over. So you have different dimensions, and the ones where you get this bit where it's crossing over. Here we have red fiery women coming through. And we need to poke her back through the hole.
And how do you suggest we poke her back through the hole?
Got a scythe.
We've got
You're
a
not
scythe.
there.
We have got a scythe. I would suggest using the scythe. If there is any way to fix the scythe, that might help. So there's sort of a fracture in it now.
Take a knowledge check for me, please.
Botch.
Yeah,
Bollocks.
there's no
I'm
way
learning
in the universes
That's
at all for you
Oh
to.
yes, I have another health legendary points to burn. Would be 18.
18. Ooh. Yes, this is the now that your professor companion has told you what it is that this is. You highly suspect that there are certain energies that form this scythe, and if they are indeed energies of death, perhaps they are energies of life that could cure it. So, you highly suspect that a soul type band-aid would be a good thing to do, which in terms means something human needs to die to this blade willingly,
Willingly.
and that should fix the scythe.
Okay. Kirk, are you wearing a red shirt?
No, Kirk is wearing a standard military uniform. It's not a red shirt.
God damn it.
I seem to remember seeing Rendario wearing a sort of red undershirt.
Alright, with this knowledge and this discovery, I'm going to shift back over to the other guys. I'll let you guys decide if you're running up or not. I'll let you make that decision. Right, the other two of you, you are faced with this kind of fiery woman standing in front of you. I'm going to let you guys have another round on her as she's kind of shifting back into this world. What do you two want to do?
Sweep her with a scythe. Oh my god. Just stop rolling crap.
I have a feeling it doesn't matter what you roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I have one more legendary point.
This is very
Yes,
tough.
crit.
Yes.
I crit that bitch.
Yes.
Crone.
Do you yell this?
Yes.
Oh, for goodness sake, guys, you're the worst. Fine, roll some damage for me.
It's just basically a big gun, so it's D10. Ooh, max damage. A crit followed by max damage.
What's max damage for you?
Oh,
I need
18.
points. 18.
If it's the same as my rifle.
Alright, you pull out your scythe. You basically just... are you doing a horizontal? Are you doing a diagonal? Straight
I'm
down?
kind of doing a diagonal one, so I've kind of lifted up over my head, just sweeping down diagonally.
Okay.
So I'm aiming kind of cut into like her neck and go out down through the rib cage.
Down through the rib cage, out by her hip.
Yep.
Okay. As you do that, you both see, like, as you do this, you see almost like magma pouring from this open wound as it begins to like pour down, and you see it land on the grass, and onto the dirt. Sorry, and you just hear this like noise as it hits something solid, and you hear this monumental cry of pain coming from this creature in front of you. And you notice that the side of the face has been pulled down, gets pulled down even further down towards the chest, the entire jaw coming down with it, and inside the jaw you can see more rows of teeth. And the eyes just pivot on you, and they kind of flicker a little bit and get darker. But she's not down. What do you want to do, Renders?
Okay, holy shit!
Make a mental endurance roll. You yelled it.
No. Definitely not.
Okay, you want to run in the other direction.
I do so.
Alright, Colonel, it's you alone. It's you alone as you see a second figure step out. This figure steps out, and this is much like the huge tall one that you spotted before, like the nearly 7-foot creature. It's almost as if someone's got an image of a well-built short man and just pulled him out, like proportion-wise, to become ginormous. And you see it come out, and you hear it screaming annoyance and anger as it sees what you've done to its smaller fiery friend, and you hear it roar and shout, and you all hear like the reverberations as it yells and almost feels like there's an earthquake underground. I want everyone in range, which will include Renders and the Colonel, to make a reflex save.
No.
8.
You both fall to the ground. You both fall to the ground. You can't keep your footing. The rest of you, who I assume possibly running back this direction, you're perfectly fine, but you see the Colonel go down, scythe in his hand. You see Renders, who's running towards you like, fuck this! Basically also fall to the ground. But he manages to catch himself just a little bit, the same as the Colonel, not breaking the scythe any further. You are all kind of within shouting distance of each other. You're all kind of close. What do you want to do?
Okay, so we now have a big angry dude, and a half-dead flaming lady. Can
Maybe reveal the things that you were talking about just before you got here.
do we still have the captain with us?
You still have Captain Smith, and you still have, I think it was Sergeant Kirk.
So I'm going to talk to the Colonel and say, look, I'm really sorry, but we need one of your men to make a really big sacrifice here. I know you love them.
Oh! Are you really pulling that weakness right now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I need you both to roll d12s. We both know what this weakness is pertaining to, so go for it.
Six.
I got an 8.
You don't feel the need to heroically throw yourself in front of this blade, or whatever she's about to suggest, even though she's suggesting that one of your men need to make an ultimate sacrifice.
Well,
carry on. Carry on.
Was that the end of it, or what you were going to say? Or
Yeah. So I'm going to turn to Kirk, and say, look, this rip in the seaming, we need to heal it. We need to heal our scythe, and we need to make sure that none of these things are able to come through. We need to deal with these ones. However, in order to do that, we need to provide it with some hemoglobin, and that's essentially what is going to heal.
Miss, what the fuck are you on about?
Blood, dear, blood. But
what did you
in order
say that?
for I'm being scientific.
I just imagine this guy a really slow swing of this dude stomped out the board like, now hold on, dear. I've got a 5-minute exposition soon to go through. You can just stop attacking each other for a moment.
Going to do a science lesson.
Oh, come on, it's the Shaun of the Dead bit where they're standing there like a bit hurt. It's like, oh, my eye, my face.
I'm
like,
going to go
right,
along
we're
with
gonna
the
talk about
assumption that this is kind of happening as you're running towards the others, so that will
Yeah.
do the time up.
Okay. So we need somebody to willingly give the blood, because otherwise your adrenaline levels are too high, the hormones are wrong, and otherwise the seeming won't fail. Big faces. I don't believe in your magic shit.
All right, you might
You
need
have
to
to
boil it
sacrifice
down.
a soul to it.
Oh right, well see that I can understand.
Yeah, you know, you need to. Yeah.
Bloody women.
Was
Fuck's sake.
Kirk among us when we talked to the Tommies who were all like Jesus, Christmas, rah
He
rah
was in
rah,
fact
Christianity?
one of the guys who was
Excellent.
upset by this.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Using that fact, I'm going to reframe this in decidedly more sort of Catholic language. Like, one of us needs to give willingly of ourselves to save the world. In the example of our Lord. Well, clearly I'm not worthy, but
I need to
a
roll a
true
D12.
believer.
He actually manages to work out the gist of what you two are saying, despite the fact neither of you can actually bloody say the words. So basically saying one of us needs to die through that blade.
Yeah.
Why don't you just bloody say that?
I did. I led with that.
You did, and then you waffled on about something else. I don't understand. At this point, everyone has met up. You can all hear basically the gist of this conversation, including yourself, Colonel, including Renders.
Okay, Kirk. I'll frame it in very simple language. Put the pointy thing in you. Yeah?
And then we'll smear the blood on the stuff.
But I kind of don't want to. Colonel, this is your call, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to die.
So
I want to go home for Christmas. I want to see little baby Jesus. You
The only way to stop this is for someone to willingly die from this blade.
Sir, do me.
I don't think this is the time.
Well, I suppose that is sort of an exchange of life energy.
Oh, that's just nice.
Sir, I've got nothing. You've got everything. You got kids. You got a wife. You got to get home. I've got nothing at home.
Surely that's the
Go
point.
on.
You need to go and get something.
I'm good. I've lived a good life. Gonna die anyway if we don't do this.
How have you lived a good life if you have nothing?
Just get it over and done with. Don't try and talk me out of it. Fucking idiots. I'm trying to save the world here.
How have you got how have you lived an okay life though?
I mean, you could all just die in Infernal if you want.
Yeah.
You
So
guys
we
become
know-
aware that the other two
Right.
entities that have
Look at
come
that.
through are solidly through now.
I
And
know
you see
I
the
am.
large creature looking very angry and very annoyed as he picks up the smaller one and places it upon his back, completely ignoring the burning magma coming from her wounds. And they are making their way towards you. What are you doing?
So we don't have time to argue.
I am going to hold
it.
the scythe up and order the two scientists. So you two need to get the scythe back. The rest of you don't go with them. They need to go alone. And then I'm
No
going.
man's land? Are you insane?
And then I'm gonna bring the scythe down across my own throat.
Okay, I'm going to say you could grow yourself because that's just
Yep.
ridiculous. Okay, Colonel, you slice your own throat. You guys see the blade emit this huge bright light that kind of blinds you just for a moment. And as your senses come back, the Colonel has vanished. The scythe is laying on the ground. Actually, no, fuck it. Let's make it more dramatic. You see the scythe planted in the ground, a bit like a flag. And the two entities that had made their way toward you are gone. The mist is gone. It's
I
now
was going
just
to lunge towards the side because I don't want it to fall on the ground and break.
it's buried. It's
No, it's just I see him
solid,
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, as you go diving
Fuck.
forward, you realise that he's gone, it's gone, and it's just standing there planted in the
Yeah.
ground, completely oblivious to
Oh.
your awareness. You don't knock it over or anything.
No.
It's now just the four of you. It's now the captain, and it is Kirk. I'm going to say for the sake of this, Tech, you can pick up Kirk.
Why is Kirk
Okay.
down?
Kirk is basically a +1. That's it. That's all he's got. He's just +1.
But now we're technically under the command of Corone, who has apparently gone to bed.
So I could just become. I could
become. Yeah, fine.
Corone's
Become
Dexter.
Corone. That's fine. Or Captain West.
Captain Bernard Smith.
Are we
Yeah,
still
sure, that guy.
wearing the robes?
Yes, you two are.
Excellent. I'm going to take off my robe and wrap it around George the Scythe.
Name the scythe.
Oh.
You named the scythe George. All right. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, take a minute.
This
Well, being
back.
the side is comically large, it will probably take both robes to wrap it.
Yes, it would. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can do that fairly easily.
Yeah.
I want to
Yes.
take a minute of silence for our fallen officer. The
Cam's
ultimate
going to take his
sacrifice
hat
there.
off.
Well, that's all very well, but let's get back to friendly lines before we do it. We're still behind enemy lines.
The generically the soldiers just ignore you and take that minute. The minute has passed.
Come on,
the
Abby.
moment is gone. The moment is
Okay,
done.
while they were taking that minute, I'm going to be wrapping up that scythe so it looks sort of like the packaging from Harry Potter.
Okay, yeah, that's doable.
Oh god.
That's definitely doable.
Just so that if we do drop it, it's not going to shatter.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. You guys have the size now wrapped up. Are you making your way back to the extraction point? You have plenty of time.
Well, the captain said to
Colonel.
the colonel said you two need to take this back and we need to go somewhere else. I don't know exactly what he meant by that.
Something about they need to go alone. I
Doesn't
don't
make
know.
any sense. We got to get him there.
Yeah.
It's our mission.
Yes. Might I suggest that you combative types go and dispose of whatever explosives you may have in that gigantic, terrifying bronze idol over there. Whatever it's doing, it's not doing any good.
I have to say I'm inclined to agree, but we probably won't want to be close. There's an awful lot of cultists and weirdos down there. So potentially could we make use of the explosives and kind of like hurl them along? Are we we were up a slope, weren't we? Can we kind of roll it down and
I'm sorry. Just pretend for a minute that I completely phased out because I'm beginning to lose consciousness. So where are you? Where are you guys headed to?
Deciding how to destroy this idol.
yeah.
Oh,
we
you want to
destroy the big hand.
Destroy the big
Or at
hand.
least deface it with explosives. So that people can't just walk in there and read the inscriptions and go, "Oh, that's how you fuck the entire world."
Well, you do have some grenades on your peoples.
That's what my suggestion was.
Yeah, I mean you're totally able to.
But
load
at the
them.
same time, there's cultists and assholes, and the
Yeah,
enemy actually knows what this thing is.
Well,
Screw it.
What's the
Note it on
situation
the map.
like? Because my interest taking over the mission would be to get this scythe the hell away from the people who've just been trying to use it, rather than walk back into their stronghold with the scythe again.
Yeah.
Fine.
We don't have any real way of doing any damage. We can throw some grenades in there, but apart from scratches, they're not going to do anything to a structure. Because they're frag grenades, they're not designed to damage structures, they're designed to eviscerate people. So yeah, I'm going to be like, no, we need to.
Our mission is that scythe.
Yeah, the mission still as the colonel left it to us. So you guys need to get this scythe back to the launch point, and then he said we need to go elsewhere.
I disagree with that one. I think we can overrule that. That sounds stupid.
Render, good chap. Note on your map where this is. We can hand it to those rather fantastic bomber chaps when we get home.
Yes, I do that. I put red X.
The colonel told us to go elsewhere. So if we get these specialists back to their point, we can come back here and arrange demolitions with the rest of the squad. And then
Or you can not abandon us.
get to the
Well,
extraction zone.
thing
That's
is,
all we
would
gotta do.
just cucumber. Would we have been given those instructions, or would Colonel have been given the instructions and passed them on? Okay.
Okay, well, we got to get the scythe to the extraction point. We got the place marked on the map. If the if headquarters want to do something about it when we get back, it's up to them.
All right. Let's do that.
One of the specialists, I assume.
Yeah, I think.
I assume we're carrying it between us because we both wrapped it in our robes, and it's fucking enormous. We're walking along like the Chuckle Brothers carrying a ladder. There's a certain element of to
Not a
me.
bad description.
That would help if I had myself unmuted from when I coughed and sneezed earlier. You guys make your way back across no man's land. There's no problem at all. I mean, the mist is there. Those of you, in fact, all of you will be aware, you can now hear the sound of maybe some sort of wildlife, like crickets. And as you look around, you become aware that there are definitely things moving in the earth again, like worms. Maybe maggots.
Woohoo, the maggots are back.
The maggots are back. You just become aware that there is life here again. Those of you holding the scythe, take a perception check for me.
Watch.
8.
You guys don't notice anything of real significance. Apart from that, again, life seems to be returning, even if it's just the life surrounding what happens when you die. You notice this as you cross no man's land. Where are you wanting to cross back to? Do you want to go back via the little village, or do you want to go straight to the extraction point? Because you can kind of bypass Major Kit.
We want to go straight to the extraction point. I don't want to have to try and explain this to Kit.
Okay.
Well, we could just send Kirk back.
Yeah, send Kirk back. There's no need for him to come with us.
Alright.
While we've been walking across no man's land, I have been lightly ribbing Kirk about his entire battalion not crossing unopposed through no man's land. Congratulations, guys.
Well,
There were no soldiers in the opposite line.
yeah, but have you seen the crazy ass shit here? I ain't go back across here. If you paid me, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot and go home, mate. Oh, I'm not putting up any more of this shit.
Fair enough.
Alright, you leave Captain, Major, Sergeant. You leave Sergeant Kirk back at the little base. He goes off. He shakes your hand. He puts his hand out to shake each and every one of you, and he doesn't really know what to do with the doctor. He kind of puts his hand out and takes it back again, and then kind of puts it out again as if he's going to take your hand and kiss it. He really has no idea how to deal with you.
She hugs him.
It turns into a glomp.
Glob. He really all right. Just gives you a pat on the back, and then becomes overly affectionate hug because this is what he thinks you should be doing. Thinks he might have a chance. Gives you a big hug, and he's like, well, I mean, where are you based, miss? Sorry, doctor.
In a lab. I don't know. How do you feel about white coats?
Well, bit crappy out here in the mud and all, but I don't know. Not bad, I guess. I mean, I'll probably see you in one of the hospitals. Got to have a pretty nurse on hand, and no doubt I'll see you. And it gives you a punch in the arm.
Just gonna blankly look at him.
That is.
Come on, Abigail, away from this ruffian.
That is the correct response to this overt sexism. Okay. And he makes his way back. You guys have arrived probably with about 5 hours to spare. You arrive at the rendezvous point. There's no one here right now. You are a little bit early. So what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to
Is
continue
there
to
any,
disparage
moving
Major
areas
Kit's bullshit.
where we can hide?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is there any areas where we can like hide in case any patrols come past? Because the first time we kind of left here, we immediately bumped into a patrol.
Yeah, I mean, take a perception check. The only patrol on this side should be your own men.
I
Should
got
be.
10. Yeah, but we don't want them either.
Yeah.
Basically, don't run into anyone. I rolled a 10. We'll say 12 because that's what my perception is.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, in that regard, you guys managed to avoid some of the patrols. I mean, some of them wandering around are clearly Major Kit's men, who is a dick. You managed to avoid those, and you see coming down the road, you see a vehicle, like a Land Rover-y type equivalent, World War II equivalent thing. It's a vehicle making its way towards you. You notice that there are definitely armed men here, and actually that's all you spot on that low perception roll.
Is that our extraction?
You would assume so.
What's
I'll
the password?
step forward and flag them down.
Well, I'm expecting.
Did you hand
Worst
your
time.
list in?
Sorry?
Just wondering whether Ruben had handed his list in.
Oh no, I'm going to give it to General Roberts when we get back.
Yeah, let's go to General Roberts. You wave this thing down. Where are the rest of you?
Just behind me, I assume.
Yeah.
I assume we were all just standing together.
Still struggling with the scythe.
I'd like... Oh. Okay, I want the 3 soldiers to roll reflex saves.
Oh, goody.
6.
What one is? 9.
Actually, make mine 8.
Is it reflex, yeah?
Yes,
13.
please.
Which is the highest I could roll without a crit.
Okay. As you see the captain stand out and wave down the extraction, you become aware that the armed men have raised their guns and they fire in your general direction. Everyone except the captain, sorry, the 2 soldiers who aren't the captain, you take 16 points of damage each.
Oh, I've got 1 health. Look at that. Oh, Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm
You're down.
dead.
You are down and out for the count. I think I forgot to mention that death is -5 at this, because we're playing harsh, horrible rules.
How many points of damage did I get just now?
That was 16.
Yeah, I'm definitely dead.
Is this mythic?
You see...
So I had 5 earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see companion utterly riddled with bullets, and go down for the count. You see Renders take a couple of bullets and dive off to one side. He's leaning against a tree, and he's probably at this point gonna say bleeding quite heftily, if not bleeding out. The captain, you take 8 points of damage. As you kind of benignly wave and see these getting like a better view than anyone else, and you manage to die, but you still take 8 points of damage. I don't remember how much damage he had taken before.
I don't know. I think he was slightly injured because he got a bit mauled by the razor wire.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If we say he's got the same amount of hit points, I had 9 previously, so we can say he had 9 if you want.
Okay, with dramatic purposes, you go down to 1 hit point.
Okay.
Okay, the 2 specialists. You 2 are carrying this large scythe. I'm gonna give you a reflex roll. It's gonna be really difficult. More difficult than theirs because you 2 are holding something. You get riddled with 16 points of damage, Doctor.
3.
You also get riddled with 16 points of damage, Professor.
Hooray! I am in small, steaming pieces.
I'm a dead doctor.
Okay, we see the 2 specialists just get mown down without they're still holding the scythe as they're kind of like mown down, and life leaves their body in a last kind of breath, and then they both fall to the ground. And this thing, because you two bundled it up in your cultist robes, it doesn't snap, it doesn't break. I'm glad you two did that. It would be terrible. As you see, essentially, 3 of your members go down. It's just you two with 1 hit points left. You are both kind of basically almost bleeding out. As you see these guys, big booted, carrying rifles, walking towards the scythe. What do you two want to do?
I think at this point, considering how badly the captain is injured, he's basically going to die in this situation because he's not in any state to run away. So I think he's just going to fire back with his pistol.
Okay.
Because he had a flawless pistol.
Okay.
So he's just like a last
Do you have
vindictive.
any legendary points?
I don't know if he did.
That's fine. It's all
also
based
only
on
had a
you, not your
clean
characters.
pistol.
On you. You had a clean
Sorry?
pistol.
Yeah, he actually said so in the chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
you had a clean
okay.
pistol.
You were the only one who had anything good.
Alright,
Okay.
make an attack roll then. This again has been quite difficult because you are bleeding out, laying on the ground, yada yada.
Nope. Rolled a 1.
Yeah, nope. Renders, you hear the sound of gunfire going off, but you don't hear any requisite of being shot. You are leaning, kind of sitting and leaning against a tree. What do you want to do?
So I've taken a gut shot, so it's pretty fatal. I'm gonna die. So I just go, oh, you know what? Fuck this world. And I fire at the scythe. Motherfuckers can deal with
Make
it themselves.
an attack roll. Again, I'm going to use the same things I said to Tech. It's
my
difficult because you've been shot in the gut, you are leaning against a tree, yada yada yada.
How many do you have? You have 2. You might spend both.
I've only
Have
got
it
one.
done.
You've only got one. Use it. Use it.
Using my legendary point. And I crit.
Legendary crit.
Nice. How do you how badly do you want to fuck up this scythe?
I wanna like irreparably fuck it. Basically, I want like this, just like a bullet, just to bounce up the blade, completely shatter it if I can.
Okay.
Shred it.
You aim the perfect shot. You aim the shot at pretty much the tip of this blade, and you think, if I angle it just so, it will go through and shatter the whole thing. And with the very last vindictive breath, you breathe out, wait for that heartbeat, wait for the beat between the two, and you fire your gun with a single shot. This bullet flies across, and the last thing that either of you see is this exploding like scythe blade, pretty much like a frag grenade going off, just exploding and shattering everyone pretty much like a grenade, and pieces of this blade just go embedding themselves into everyone and everything nearby. And for both of you, as you take these pieces of shrapnel to the head and to the chest and to the face, your world goes dark.
Can I, before I get hit, can I go down like this?
Sure, why not? You just take the shot and like, fuck yeah. We zoom out. I do have something ready in case you guys decided to be the ultimate dicks.
Shockingly, I pre-wrote this ending.
Yeah, shockingly enough.
They fucked us over, so right.
The world kind of like the camera in inverted commas kind of zooms out, and you see that the sky has gone a dark, deep orange colour. You can see the blade, every piece that shatters, even though much, much later on in human history, the shaft we picked up, the pieces will be pulled. At that exact cracking, you see all these small shimmering portals appear, and as the blades fly out, they cut into the shimmering portal they made with their break, and more red vines kind of creep across, and this portal, about 60 foot in diameter, appears, and eventually, very slowly at first, all these small creatures come flying out, and then much, much larger ones. The flaming woman upon her giant companion step out, followed by hordes of smaller undead creatures that seem to be following their lead, and they stalk out across the lands. They stalk out across France, eventually making their way to Britain. And that small little lab, that small little place where our 2 specialists came from, the moment that this happens, like essentially red lights go off, all these mystical spells go off, and it essentially tells them the end of the world is here. What are you gonna do now, motherfuckers? And that's where we're gonna end it all out. You dicks.
Thanks, Rendario. You fucked the world.
Good job, man. Good job. Wow. Okay, that was something
When
unique.
both sides of the world want to kill me, it's like, what? Fuck it, what have I got?
What have I got? Honestly, I'm gonna put everything back on light and cheerful because that suspense is driving me up the wall. I'm terrified now. That was this stupid game I wrote in less than a day. This
Very
was
cool.
fun. Wow. What do you guys think?
It's cool. If the Colonel had survived, he was going to try and stop anyone else going to the drop-off point. But
so, what did the Colonel know that everybody else didn't? What were his orders?
His orders were basically like, you need to get this back, and anyone without clearance will be silenced or basically killed.
Executed.
Yes, for knowing too much classified information.
Indeed, which was why his last words were, "Don't go with the specialists."
Oh!
Yeah.
You sent us to die!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone had to get
Which
the
is-
size back,
which is-
and I
which
was
is-
dead.
They sent us to die, which is curious because we didn't learn anything that we didn't know before.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because it was like anyone who, people know too much. It was like, but these guys already knew everything.
The
so-
specialist knew, but there was a chance there were things that they didn't know. You didn't know how many there were. You didn't know whether they'd broken it apart already, how it would fix. Some of the stuff you only learned while you were there. How the Nimra Razan was involved, how breaking this would break through to the Veil of Seeming. You saw that by being there. That's information that they wouldn't want the enemy to get hold of if this side were ever to fall back into enemy hands. So yeah, they had very specific information of only people with clearance, which was basically just the Colonel, would be able to come back from this mission alive.
The plan was I was going to try and get you guys to fall in with the other camp and ship off as an injured crew with Kirk later on, but unfortunately I died.
Kirk made it out. It's not a TPK.
Sacrifice yourself. You could have given him alive.
I could have done, but I did just tell you don't go with the specialist and figured you'd make your own way from there. But
I sent him a message in chat and you realised you sent the specialist to their death.
To be fair, also, I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. It was like one of those things I'll wing it when I get there. And it was like, oh shit, I'm never going to get there. Oh well, don't go with them.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Dear George, you could have just told us to bury the scythe.
Yeah, that's not going to help, is it? Someone dig it up.
Anyway, yeah,
No, you just bury it in some random ass forest in France. No one's going to know to look there.
It was why I found it really funny that when you were writing the list, you were convinced someone was getting no one's getting this list. For 3 weeks, I've held on to that knowledge. No one's getting this list. All right, so let's go around and
in your dead hands has clutched this list.
Yeah.
I love the fact that now, laying somewhere in France, there is this list of weaknesses at the Hinterland camp.
Oh, yeah.
Just laying there for anyone to find.
All right, so let's wrap around and close out because I'm getting really lightheaded in this room. I just get some oxygen. So let's start off with Tech. Let's do some wrapping up with Tech.
Very cool. I had a lot of fun today, and I like that the Colonel got to sacrifice himself instead of his men because one of his weaknesses was he has compassion for his men. So he's not about to hack down one of his own men with a scythe because he just wouldn't do that.
Oh.
He'd much rather sacrifice himself.
His poor wife.
Yeah.
His poor wife.
His poor wife. But then again, there's a slight possibility he shot her anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to tell you whether that was true or not. It's not.
I know, that's fine. He doesn't need to know he's dead. He's stuck in a scythe, which was then shot immediately after he made the sacrifice. Like, I will sacrifice myself to stop this happening! And then the guy who was originally going to sacrifice himself, fuck the world, man!
I was going to sacrifice myself for the greater good, and the greater good fucked me. So.
Yeah. That's
special ops fucked you, not the world.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid.
Yep.
So where can we find you online?
You can find me at tech_BTP on the Twitters. You can find me at gbstudios.co.uk for any techie needs you may have, and at bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk.
Cool beans. Next one round, which is our Lady Spanners.
That was awesome. I can't believe the Colonel sacrificed himself knowing that he was the only one that could take it back.
He was the only one.
Have a lot of time to think of it.
No, that was really cool. I particularly like playing with dogs. Puppies. Poor puppy. That was really fun. I particularly like trying to keep one hat on tonight and another hat on Monday, and having literally no clue who I am or where I am or what I'm doing. And I am so sorry I nearly killed us all.
No.
All good. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter a lot as Spanners_BTP. And you can also find me on Twitch as I_am_Spanners. And here on Monday.
Yay! Yes, here on Monday for something special. I'm going to bypass you, Thirsty, just for a moment, to Killer Kitten.
I'm Killer Kitten. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at KillerKitten21. That was really interesting. I kind of guessed from the start that it was probably just going to end in death some way.
I don't know what you're on about.
It's you. We always end in death.
Oh, F&S.
Most
Bringing
of
home the
the
bacon.
time.
Did any of you die bringing home the bacon? That you didn't voluntarily kill yourself to?
Some
I
of
had my
us
hand
did
blown
die.
off.
Yes, but you didn't really die. Not like in the course of the campaign. All of y'all are fine. Hey, Owens.
He died.
I killed myself.
Yep, he killed himself. That doesn't count.
Yeah, but generally in your one-shots or your very short campaigns, we end up dying.
Nobody died in Pilots. Actually, no, that's true. Okay, yeah, I'll take that point. People who don't play with me normally don't realise that this is my thing.
We're not good. We just destroyed the world and all died.
To be fair, we could have survived. There was definitely a possibility of
Oh, yeah.
survival in it.
There was a win
If
condition in it, yeah.
sacrifice
To be
himself.
fair, I would point out if Spanners hadn't antagonised the other character, he would have given up the scythe and not caused it to be broken.
Leroy.
Going for the legendary points.
So, was this okay? I know it's a bit different from our norm. I'm talking at Kitten because it's your wrap-up, man. It's your minute and everyone else is interrupting it.
Sorry, what was the question?
I said, was this okay despite it being a different from the norm? It wasn't at least D&D, which I know you hate.
Yeah, it was alright. I didn't really understand the whole sort of like winning legendary thing, but apart from that, I was really good.
It's alright. It got taken used to.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Next one round, which I believe is Dev. Yep, Dev.
I am Dev. You can't actually really find me online anywhere. I have Twitter, but I don't go on it. But yeah, this was really good. I kind of wish I was here for all of the sessions. To be fair, I would have understood a lot more of what was happening if I'd at least watched the previous sessions. Seeing as they are available and I have every opportunity to do so. But it was really fun. I liked ending the world.
In his defense, we're currently out of internet.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't have it.
It's
That was lead to wanting to destroy the world.
you still managed to destroy the world, so that was good.
No internet, therefore the world gets destroyed.
It's no goddamn excuse, man. It's no excuse.
All right, and then finally, on almost last, pretty much least, Thirsty.
Hey, it's me. It was great. It was a lot of fun being an unhealthy, nervous, jumpy, slow, cold, wet, hypochondriac wimp. As people will know from when I wrote an article about playing flawed characters, it's great fun to be a horrifically flawed character. Yeah, I loved being a... Well, actually, I don't think he actually ever hurt anyone. So yeah, basically a conscientious objector, egghead idiot with no great physical or mental additions to what was going on.
Killed a dog.
Yeah. I didn't kill a dog. Oh yeah, I did. I accidentally, Ricochet, killed a dog.
Yep.
But he didn't even know about that, so it doesn't really count.
That's true. That's true.
And he did nearly get raped to death by a dog. So, you know.
No, the dog wasn't humping you.
I got mounted by a dog and reduced to 2 hit points. I was basically just destroyed.
yeah, you were raked. I want to say
Yeah.
raped, you were raked. Okay, where can we find you online and what's the next exciting thing you're doing on Monday?
You can find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP. When I remember to do other things, you can find me in those places also. On Monday, I shall be running a wonderful little game that I'm calling Thirst and Salt, which is going to involve people who escape the nuclear apocalypse by going out onto the open seas, becoming what's known as the Salt Gypsies. and it's going to be the escapades of day 19,437 of the long voyage.
Yeah, someone's had a bit too much time on his hands.
I just had a calculator this morning and worked it out.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Nerd. Yep. Okay. Cool. You can find me here tomorrow. / Sunday morning, where we're doing the last of Requiem for 2 weeks. And then, yes, I'll be bowing out Mondays for a couple of weeks, for 3 weeks, because I'm flying or mid-show, so I won't be around for that. Also, next week, for the next 2 weeks, I believe Tech is running a game on a Friday, so instead of me GMing, we're having a Western RPG, a Western spiced RPG, which can be fun, exciting. I may or may not be here. I don't know anymore. We're about to find out. See what happens. Yeah, we shall see. It completely depends. Other than that, literally the next thing I'm on is going to be Wintercrest tomorrow over on Skag's channel. I had immense fun writing this game, despite the very quick time limit I had on writing it. It was so fun. I really wish I could turn this into a longer campaign, because it's so much fun doing this. And you guys blew my plot away. There was my plot. You guys were like all the way over there. I mean, I basically did most of this without notes, apart from that very last section, because there was just nothing else. I was just like, I don't know what you guys are doing anymore. I don't know where the plot has gone. Let's just ad-lib it and see what happens. But luckily I was prepped enough that I could ad-lib like that, so we're all good. Thank you guys for playing this. It's been absolute hoot. Thank you, Spanners, for joining us. You are amazing. You are utterly amazing. Thank you for stepping in for 3 weeks. I believe Tech needs to ask if you want to come join for the Western game, but I will leave that up to him and you guys in the Discord chat. See whether you're available. See if you're not. We'll find out what happens.
Yep.
I think other than that, I just need to thank Kevin MacLeod for all the free ass music, and then we need to thank Corone for doing the intro and outro title sequences for this last minute, and he nailed them, so thank you very much for that, dude. Is there anything anyone wants to shout into the void before I switch us across to the outro?
Snow.
Or a screwdriver.
No.
Oh, I finally realised that I made the nautical nonsense joke at roughly the same time as the news that SpongeBob was getting cancelled.
Oh no.
It's getting cancelled.
Oh
What?
Yeah, they're stopping making it.
Wow.
Yeah.
On that extreme
So I finally
sad
managed to
note.
work in, like, if nautical nonsense be something you wish, they're stopping making SpongeBob.
That's terrible.
Which basically just means that I am cursed.
It's his
Anything
fault.
that I endorse is destroyed.
If
Wow.
anyone hates, if anyone hates the SpongeBob's being cancelled, blame Thirsty, because
Yeah.
it's his fault.
I have to agree.
Why is it his fault?
Because he basically said, hey, go check a thing out now. Uh-oh. Okay, on that horrific note, we are going to say goodnight to this. We are going to say goodnight to Star of the Dark, and we will catch you guys tomorrow and then on Monday. So, good night, guys. Alright, faded across now. What? SpongeBob is stopping?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Yeah, they're stopping making it. It's been going for like 20 bajillion years. Finally they're like, you know what? No more. We made films, we ruined it.
SpongeBob SquarePants.